All right.
Hey, we're live. Hey, Star Wars fans, Rule the Galaxy fans. It is a first. We are going live right now. And while we're going live, you can see Joe in the pilot seat. We got D-Doc right here and Alfie. We've already got, hey, Rural Farm Boy. Been waiting for all day for this. There we go. Hey, Willie Harms, our good friend Willie Harms. He won one of our contests. Willie, happy 100 episodes, fellas. Thank you, Willie. We appreciate it. So we're starting it off. We got a few more people that should be here any minute. Kind of the run of the show will be every half an hour to an hour. Different people will rotate in, but you're at Rule the Galaxy podcast. We are doing it live on YouTube and StreamYard. So thank you for letting us set that up. Joey, thank you for letting us set that up. It's our 100th episode. So we wanted to do it live. We wanted to have fun with it. Really, there's no plan. The plan is answer your questions that come up, have the guests come on. We've got some great guests coming on. But you've heard enough of me. As always, you can follow us at Rule the Galaxy SW on Twitter. Email us at ruletheGalaxySW@gmail.com. And just like Willie Harms and Rural Farm Boy are doing, send us a message here during the show. I'm going to hop off real quick and let our co-host jump in. D-Doc, Dave, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. Just hanging out. I had a little bit of show notes prepared at work today, and I left them at work, so I'm going to be shooting from the hip tonight. It's all right. I have a semi-decent memory.
Oh, gosh. You know what? That's okay. I put show notes down, but really, they're just here in case nobody talks to us or nobody listens, and then we can talk about our own stuff. So just let you know, Dave's here, Alfie's here. Looks like, hey, our good pal Joey's hopping on here. 1 second, I'm gonna add him to it. But Alfie, while we're adding Joey to the stream, Alfie, how you doing, brother?
Doing great, man. We've talked about this. It's been a long time coming. Just excited to have some fun tonight.
We are too. Yeah, everybody here is excited, and we have no idea. We were posting pictures of the Hindenburg back and forth today on Twitter, on text messages, because we thought it might be that. But looks like we're doing okay. Hey, Rural Farm Boy, Dave, Alfie, Joe. Thanks again, brother. We always appreciate you chiming in. Hey, this familiar guy right here, he looks similar to me, Joey Molinaro, big Star Wars fan. How you doing?
Yeah, similar. I got the same name. Oh, whoa. I didn't know we were doing it.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
Oh, yeah. 100 episodes. Come on.
Hey, hey, Scott Reifin, how you doing?
Wait, hang on.
Oh, boy. Here we go. It's going live, folks. It's like Bill O'Reilly. We're doing it live, but right now we have D-Doc, Alfie, Nick Shesky, and Joey all with their Mandalorian helmets on, which is fabulous that it's going live with that. So
this is impressive. I don't know if you can hear me, but this is impressive.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you, Joey. So you guys look good. You guys are good. I don't know if it'd do well sound-wise for you to keep them on the whole night, though. So
just for the thumbnail, you know.
That was a very polite on YouTube. Take your freaking helmet off right now.
Yeah, it looks good. Hey, you know what? We said hey to Joey. Nick Shesky, now that you got the helmet off, how are you, my friend?
Hey, I'm great. Can you believe we made it to 100 episodes?
A lot of people can't believe that, but here we are, and it's
very exciting.
It's been a lot of madcap hijinks over a year and a half. So, hey, looky here. We've got our good friend who's messing with his camera, I think, right now, Mr. Scott Reifin, the most listened to man in South Georgia radio. And as soon as he hops back on here,
clearly not the most seen man in South Georgia radio, because I've disappeared for some reason. I don't know what's going on here.
That's okay. Hey, Tommy Line, one of our great listeners. Oh, snap. Yep. How you doing, Tommy? Glad to have you here.
Man, Reifin, that radio voice, no doubt, man. That is beautiful.
There you go. Hey, the youngin'.
Yes, just like you, Scott. I raised my boy to love Star Wars, and here he is. He's the one who got me started on this, so I'm so glad he's here. But hey, Rural Farm Boy. Hey, what, Scotty? Yep, the Rural Farm Boy, Scott Reifin is here. The man, the myth, the legend. So it's going well, guys. I can't thank you guys enough for coming, and I think the six of us right here, we've got the next half an hour to an hour to kind of just go through things. One, I will tell you all, you know what? to think that we've got to 100 episodes it's just shocking. It's just crazy to think we got here. And you know what? The friendships we've made over the past year and a half has been incredible. And starting off by having a guest on like Scott, who is somebody who I've listened to for ever. And he's one of those guys that when I talked to Joey back in January of 2020, I was like, I listened to him. I listened to Steve Glosson. I listened to Rebel Force Radio. I sat there and I was like, I want to do things like those guys do. They do it the right way and they have the passion for it. So having Scott on the show here tonight means the world. But to all the people who are listening and following along with us, thank you so much. And so really the floor is open. Scott is our special guest. So if there's any topic he'd want to hit, great. But Joey is also our special guest here. If you guys want to hit on anything, we talk every week in this group right here. So anything you guys want to bring to the table about Star Wars or just life in general, let's go. Come on.
I just first want to say congratulations to you guys for getting to 100 episodes and the fact that, as you mentioned, all the friendships you've made because of another podcast that I did that made it to 100 episodes, Dinner for Geeks. By the time we got to 100 episodes, we had made enemies of each other. So it's actually not a great fit at that point. So it's a good thing that you guys still get along after all this time.
Yeah,
we do.
I'll echo. I mean, Dad, pretty wild. Big congrats to you. Big congrats to all the boys. Just because I remember we started this. We used to do it down at my old radio station for the first little bit, and then the pandemic hit and everything. And you've kept it going. You've grown it, and just super cool, man. So congrats to all of you guys, and I'm proud of what we started and that you guys kept it going, man. It's awesome. So what Star Wars is all about.
That's
I saw
right.
Alfie tweet that. Family and friends, that's Star Wars, man.
That's right. That's right. Alfie, you had your hand up. Did you have something you want to throw in there as well?
Yeah, before we got too deep into it, D-Doc said that he forgot his notes. And I would just like to say that's all right, because the one and only time, D-Doc, that I made notes for the Rogue One podcast, we didn't end up talking about it that night.
No. We did not. We did not. I threw a curveball at Alfie that night. So
I had 4 pages of notes.
What?
Where did those ever end up? You still have them?
Someone
I
found
threw
them on
away.
the street, and they're
I don't
like,
think we
"What are
ever really
these?"
did that episode.
Oh,
no, we did. Scott, I think Scott, were you a part of the Rogue One episode that we talked about it? I couldn't remember.
We barely talked about it.
Yes. No, we didn't talk about Rogue One that night. If I'm here or Steve's here, we don't talk about what the notes say. That's
right.
one of those things.
That is true. Hey, look at this. Even though it's a Star Wars podcast, we've got a Let's Go Steelers here for Joey and I. Thank you, Lance Crin, for that. Revan from, I'm guessing Darth Revan from Twitter. Happy 100th. Thank you. Let's see here. Yes, thank you. So you know what, guys?
D-Doc, I love that hoodie, man. That is awesome. I just noticed that.
Kohl's.
Kohl's that could honestly be a topic. Is what like major chain like retails have the best Star Wars stuff? I mean, we're lucky, guys. Kohl's, Target, Old Navy. I mean, all those places you can go in there and find some gems.
Five Below.
Yes.
Baby Gap.
Really?
I got my kid. Listen, I get it.
Not for you.
Not for me.
Okay.
My kid is 17 months old right now, and I'll send you a screenshot. I mean, everything from crib sheets to Baby Yoda, sweatshirts, all this stuff. He actually has bed sheets right now that say "Rule the Galaxy" on them.
No way.
What?
Yeah, it's awesome. Abby was like, "The ones with the R2D2, or you want the one that says "Rule the Galaxy"?" I said, "Ask me a more serious question, please." Thank you. That's not what I actually said. That would have been bad in our house.
Right. What you thought in your mind.
Yeah.
You said whatever you want, honey.
That's right. That's right. So you know what? You brought up a good point right there, because I know each one of us has a significant other. And Scott, you've been doing this a lot longer than us, whether it was on your own show or on shows you've partnered up with people on. I will say this, and my wife, God love her, I said, "Hey, honey, why don't you come in so everybody can kind of meet you live on this. And she said, no, I don't want people to see me. So I said, okay. But I'll give a shout out right here to not only my wife, but to the significant others of this show to let us take this time each week to be with our friends, to have fun. There's a million things we could be doing worse in the world than sitting here and having camaraderie, talking about Star Wars, and just having fun and laughing, which is a big part of what we do. So thank you to all the significant others out there who are part of it. And real quick, I will let you know, Ryan, one of our regular co-hosts, it's his son's birthday today. They already had a big birthday extravaganza planned with his family coming in from out of town. So Ryan will not be here. I hate that for Ryan because he wanted to be on it. And Brent, again, one of our regular co-hosts, he'll be in later. He had some conflicts earlier on in the show, so he'll be in later. So, but that's where I'll leave it off. Who wants to hit next on another side? Because Joey, I'll follow up on that. Yes, Target, Kohl's, Old Navy. You can walk in any of those places and walk out with tons of great Star Wars stuff. And Five Below, Alfie, I have 2 shirts from Five Below, $5 each, and you're thinking, where's going to get a $5 Star Wars T-shirt? So
I guess to follow up on that, I want to say to my dad, to Scott, maybe Alfie. Well, I guess maybe all of us. I feel like when we were younger, when we were kids, definitely Dad and Scott, I'm sure, Star Wars kind of was like, people maybe thought you were a little bit of a geek. A little bit of a nerd, whatever. You had to corral with your buddies and be like, yes, we love Star Wars. It's awesome. Now it is so trendy and cool to like Star Wars. I mean, how great would it be to be a 5th grader right now? You wear Baby Yoda stuff. You're the coolest MF in the whole place.
We're living in the wrong decade, Joey. The wrong decade.
No, but it for me though, it was already like that. I mean, in 77, Star Wars came out and we got on the playground. If you didn't like Star Wars, you were the freak.
Yep.
If you didn't like Star Wars, you were the one who was the outcast. Because every kid, it was, which guys do you have? And they weren't action figures. They were guys. Yeah. Oh, you brought your guys to school. Don't let the teacher see the guys or they're going to take them away. So we didn't have that. And I didn't get that until I was like 15.
Exactly. Scott, you and I are similar in age, and I tell people it's amazing because right when I hit 8th grade into freshman year, Star Wars was gone, kind of. So it was lucky for me to be able to chase girls and try to be popular because I didn't have to say, "Oh, look at all my Star Wars stuff," hidden away. It was still there. But then when Timothy Zahn came out with that Thrawn trilogy, it flipped the switch and it was all
right back in.
Oh, I love that shirt.
That's a cool shirt.
Yeah.
Put that up there again. That's Heir of the Empire's cover. Yeah. Well,
that's
in the back.
Outofprint.com. Just to give a plug to somebody who's not paying you anything. They do T-shirts based on books, and I've got the whole OT and Heir to the Empire, and very cool. The OT stuff, the really neat one is the original novel for the first film, Episode 4. For those of you playing the home game. Is the cover they use is the one from November 76. They put the novel out like 6 months before the movie. And it had this Ralph McQuarrie concept painting, this very just like almost Arial font for the actual name of the film. And it was always kind of a white whale of mine. And that's one thing I'd love to talk about tonight is our white whales. That was a white whale of mine. That original printing of Star Wars, the one from November 76, and I never found. And then one day when I was in college, I went into this used bookstore that I used to always go to, and all of a sudden there were 2 copies on the shelf. I had never seen one in the wild. All of a sudden there are 2 of them. So of course, that was 75 cents each. I bought them both, and it was ramen for the rest of the week. So
it's worth it.
I will say, you know what? I like that topic, Scott, because I had one. Okay, when I was growing. I never. Well, first of all, this was an unbeknownst white whale. I had no idea I wanted this or could get it, but now that I have a 6-inch Jackson, I'm like, wow! It feels like it's 1978 all over again. But the other one for me was this bad dude right here. When I was growing up, never got the Y-Wing.
Oh, the Y-Wing. That's a later stage Star Wars ship, too.
Yep. So I found this out on the interwebs, and I just had to get it because growing up, I never had one. And to me, this is like my my golden ring that I could never have or get when I was younger. So
See, I never had the AT-AT when I was a kid. When the AT-AT came out, I remember saying to my mom, I want the walker. They make it. It's out there. And she says, oh, great. And I found it in Gibson's. And I dragged mom over here. That's what I want, the AT-AT. And she goes, how much is it? And I said, it's $49.99. And I will never forget this because I've never let her live this phrase down. She responded with, I ain't paying no $50 for no toy. So, I didn't get that.
I'm with you, Scott. I was about to say, like, the AT-AT, now that I have a dog that's a big guy, I would like to get obviously miniature sized AT-AT, but one that could also walk around the house like my dog, and kind of be a pet of its own. I love those things. They're so cool. It's like
not to go in the house.
Right. Not to go in the house and take them on a walk with Happy. It'd be great. So I'm with you.
I did wind up getting one, by the way. The Power of the Force 2, they made them pretty much from the same mold. And I found one on closeout at a Toys R Us for $20. So not only did I get it, but I didn't pay no $50 for it. So
make a mama proud.
That's right.
Alfie, you grew up about the same time as Scott and I. So I'm just a little bit older than you. What was your Star Wars book, toy, collectible that you didn't get growing up, or you didn't get it then, but you got it later, or something like that?
If I'm going to say one that I didn't get that I always wanted, was the Death Star playset.
Ooh.
It had like the 3 levels and the gun on top.
That would be sick.
Ooh.
It was that's the one that's the one that had the foam and the compactor at the bottom, right?
Yes. And the little green Dianoga, and that was a birthday present of mine. I've talked about this before, where my birthday is September 20th, and
hey, happy early birthday, Scott.
Thank you. And the Sears Wish book would always come out around Labor Day, and that was the highlight of the year, was getting that Sears Wish book. And they would always have stuff in there that was not out. And I would always go through the Sears Wish book. I go, I want that. And of course, it was a couple weeks before my birthday, and my parents would always fall for it. They'd go, okay, we'll order him that from the Sears Wish book. And then my birthday would come, and they'd go, hey, that thing you wanted? One day you'll get it. Because they didn't. So I never got birthday presents because everything I wanted in the Sears catalog wasn't out yet. And so October, November, my toy would show up, and one of the early ones of those was that Death Star, and it was one of the best play sets ever on the entire planet.
I had it, and I had a younger brother, so he ended up destroying it. But I did. Nick
and D-Doc, I want to hear yours, man.
As I say, D-Doc and Nick, hit me with something you never got, and about the time that you would have got. Go ahead, Nick.
No, I was pointing. Sorry, my
D-Doc,
screen. D-Doc is above me. Go over, D-Doc.
Well, what's funny is I was actually talking to my mom pretty recently, and I was just like, when did you get me the Star Wars VHSs when I was a kid? Because neither of my parents really were into Star Wars at all. I'm like, what made you get these for me? Because I'm like, it's been a big part of my life, and I'm just like, I can't really put a finger on where I got into it, who got into it. We had the VHSs at home. Me and my brother Joe used to watch it all the time. It was the original binge watch where we put the VHSs in and spend a whole Saturday watching them. But I mean, what hooked me for Star Wars, I think when I was probably maybe 6 or 7 years old, I got the Millennium Falcon huge vehicle. Where that just hooked me.
What is 6 or 7 years old for you?
Yeah, what year is that?
I was born in 90. I was born in 91, so I'm 30 years old.
Okay.
So
I actually brought a show and tell because I'm trying to get you guys into it. I actually brought Krennic's
That's sweet.
Lego up here because this is one of my favorite Lego sets because I think it's one of the best built sets they've ever made, and it's freaking huge.
Gorgeous.
Awesome.
And it folds right up.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And
does it come with any
landing
guys?
Gear.
Yeah, it has a couple guys with it.
Yeah, it does, which I have them in a box because I'm moving. So all my stuff is downstairs in a box. It's
Be careful, D-Doc. I had an X-Wing Lego set, and we moved, and I never saw it ever again.
Opens up for the guys in there and everything.
Jeez.
Was that Alfie, or was that Was that the wife's doing, Nick, or was that?
You know what? We'll call it the movers misplacing it, but
Yeah.
I think deep down, possibly.
Yeah. My mom used to
Where
play
are we
this
gonna put
game.
those?
Yeah. My mom used to play this game of, oh, you think something's gone, huh? Well, if you can tell me what it is, you can have it back.
Oh.
And if I couldn't tell her what it was just gone. So maybe that your wife did that with you.
I think that was it.
So Nick, besides missing that Lego X-Wing, what was yours? Because I've seen your collection, and you were a prequel kid. You grew up at the prequel time. You had a ton of stuff. Was there anything you missed out on or wanted to get?
You know what? I would say this. I've been very fortunate. So when I was growing up, eBay is still a big thing. But at the time that I was, 5th, 6th, 7th grade, I would get on eBay for Christmas, and people were selling like a B-Wing or, like they were selling, what else did I have? Darth Vader's TIE Advance, right? Or the tank from episode 1, like the droid tank that you could buy, and all these people were selling it for like $12 on eBay. And so for Christmas, my parents just like loaded me up with that. I would say I had 2 white whales that actually came into fruition. I didn't think that I was going to get them. First being when I was in 8th grade, I wanted the Luke Skywalker Force FX lightsaber, but it was like $100. Like I knew a kid that had it. And I remember I came home and I told my parents, and they're like, there is no way.
The blue or the green? Return of the Jedi or?
The green, Return of the Jedi. And Scott, very similar. It was like, we're not spending $100 on a sword.
Well, you're younger. That's inflation. Yeah. It's the same thing. $50 probably was $100 then. Hey,
and I went down for Christmas, and sure enough.
Look at you. And that's the thing. When our parents deny us these things.
Have ever spent.
Yeah. When my parents deny us these things, we wind up with them anyway, especially. Hey, Joey, I want to know what Chris Collinsworth's white whale was.
Boy, I tell you what, Star Wars was not in my groove, man. I was chasing girls and catching balls.
I did not know we were going to have a Collinsworth show up today.
I didn't either.
Oh, God.
Now I want to go get my Kylo Ren lightsaber. Sheesh. Or my dark saber. I got a dark saber. That was one of my favorite purchases because I was late to the game with Clone Wars and Rebels. And when I saw, so it just happened at the perfect time that I was watching all those. I went to Target. They had a dark saber, and I scooped that up real quick. So that's I don't know if any of you guys have that as well, but
I got one on at Walmart on clearance.
There you go. It's a good one.
They must have found like 4 cases of them in the back or something because there was just a shopping cart full of dark sabers.
Nice.
Clearance is the best.
So hey, while we've got Joey, if I'm not mistaken, I know most people follow your Twitter, but is it just at Joey Molinaro or at Joey?
Oh no, it's full name. It's full name.
Okay, at Joey Molinaro. So and then Scott, yours is just at Ryfin, correct? RYFN?
Yes. No, actually, mine's just Joey. That's why he can't have it.
I knew. I've been trying to get that.
I know. I'm squatting on it.
While we have you here, though, I wanted to ask you because one of the shows that I got hooked on listening to yours was the My Star Wars Story, and you did some great interviews with some people. Are you I think you mentioned, are you bringing one back? Is there a new one coming out soon, or is it still in production?
I feel really awful because this weekend I got okay. Do you know the Deucecast guys?
I've not met them. No.
Have you never? But you're familiar with that podcast? Great guys.
I've seen them promote stuff on Twitter, but I haven't got a chance to interact.
Fun, good movie podcast. I think Joe. I've been riding my bike a little. I'm now to the tune in the last year and a half lost 147 pounds.
Whoa.
And yeah. So or as I like to call it, my wife plus about 10. So so one of the things that I do is I go around on my bike every night. I ride at least 10 miles every day. And the other night, Friday night, I did my bike ride and I came in and I checked my email and there was an invite to do Deucecast out of nowhere. And I went, what? Okay. So I logged in real quick. They were in the middle of the show. They're like, welcome to the show. Hey, we're doing a top 5 list, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay. So I said on their Friday night, I'm probably going to put a new episode. I don't think I said probably. I think I said there's going to be a new episode this weekend of My Star Wars Story. And then it did not happen. So there is a new episode that is about 85% done. It is just a matter of what I have found is in the last year and a half, I've decided I've got to take time for myself and my health. And I can no longer use other things as an excuse to not do right by myself.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the thing that I would often use as an excuse. Well, I need to go riding. I need to do some exercise, whatever, but I've got to do this darn podcast. So I plan on finishing it very soon, but I'm not there yet.
If you don't mind me asking, are you sharing who it will be?
I'll tell you who it will be because you'll be very excited.
Okay.
It is the one, the only, formerly Fat Adam Bray.
Formerly Fat Adam. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Well, he'll be on later. So that'll be awesome.
Oh!
We'll talk to him and say, hey, push Scott, get that done. But you know what, Scott, I will tell you, Joey's in the same industry you are, the media, everything like that. And I know it runs you guys ragged. Doing this podcast, I mean, Alfie jokes with me all the time and says, I thought this was a one-shot deal. I thought we were doing this once and we were done. And here we are, 100 episodes. I would say this: it does you do your work, you take care of things with your family, and then you're like, oh crap, I've got a show, I've got to get ready for that. And I can only imagine when what you do is talk all day, and you or Joey to then have to come and do that on top of it. I can see where that would weigh down on you and take some time away. So I completely get it. I personally, the reason I keep recruiting all these good people in is so I'm gonna get all them talked into saying, hey, Joe's taking next week off. Who's running the show? And waiting for the hands to get raised. But we'll see. So
for me, it's not the talking. I'll talk all day, every day. It's the production.
Mm-hmm.
The talk of that episode was done a year and a half ago. I have yet to finish the production of it because I get very, very tinkery with my Star Wars story. I get really particular with how I edit it and how I score it, and
Well, it's a professionally done thing. It's not a thrown together StreamYard by a bunch of goofballs. So, but I tell you what,
it'd be a lot more episode if it were.
Revan asked a question. I'm just going to start because I want to get some feedback from all you guys. Revan asks, if you don't mind me asking, what would be your top 3 Sith and or Jedi? I think who's the youngest one here? Joey or Nick? Nick?
Me.
Joey, you're the youngest. I'll start. We'll go youngest to oldest here. So, Joey, top 3 Sith or Jedi, or combine them together. I don't care. Just give me a top 3 like Force user of that.
Yeah. Sith. So I'll go. You know me, Dad. I go 3-1 because if you say the first one first, then who gives a shit about the third one? Let's just get that clear on the board. My dad right now. Because I guarantee when we get to him, he'll go. Okay, number 1 Sith. Number 3, I'm going to be basic about pretty much all of them, I guess. Number 3 Sith, I'd say Darth Maul. 2, the Emperor Sidious, and 1 Darth Vader.
Okay.
I know that Sidious is, he's the Emperor and he's all being and he's everything and he's not dead and cloning and dark science, secrets only the Sith knew and all that stuff. But Darth Vader
somehow he's returned.
Somehow, that little line.
It's a Disney magic,
right? Darth Vader is just the baddest mamma jamma in all the land, and always will be. So that'd be my 3 Sith. 3 Jedi. It's tough because a lot of people. This is a very contingent point for a lot of people, I'm sure now. Ahsoka Tano, right? She's technically not a Jedi, but she's a Force user, Force wielder, and a good right. So he's definitely my top 3. Luke Skywalker is in the top 3, and then I see it's basic. I think I just gotta say Yoda, man. I love Yoda, and I know I'm missing out on Obi-Wan Kenobi, but Yoda is just, I love his wisdom. I love everything about Yoda, and I'm hoping that can kind of parlay. We can kind of get the second coming here with Baby Yoda. We can see him grow into a wise. Do you think he's going to speak in reverse? Do you think he's going to speak like Yoda? Baby Yoda?
That's a good question. I don't know.
That's an interesting point.
Did we ever hear Yaddle speak?
No.
Shouldn't it depend on who taught him how to talk?
What if he spoke like Mando and had a cool ass voice?
Yeah.
What if he starts hanging out with Lando Calrissian?
Full armor. That would be sick. But yeah, those would be my 3. Yeah.
Okay. Nick, you're the next up. We'll pound through this. You're next up. Yeah.
I would say Bane. Number 3. I like that, Joey. Don't give away number 1. Bane. I would go Plagueis, number 2, and I would go Darth Vader, number 1. I will skip the Jedi. I'm having kind of a love-hate with the Jedi right now.
Because you're reading the High Republic books.
That's it. That's what it is.
D-Doc, how about you?
It's funny because I wanted to bring the house down by throwing Plagueis on the list. I wanted to sound smart for a second there because it's like one of the only books that I've read, basically. But yeah, I really like Plagueis. He's in my top 3 for Sith. You know what I was just thinking during this list? Would you consider Kylo Ren a Sith? Like, is he a Sith, or like what? Is he just like kind of a bad Jedi? You know, he doesn't come off as a Sith to me.
He's the angsty. Yes. He's the angsty teen Jedi that's like going through some shit with his parents, you know.
Emo.
A Sith in puberty.
An emo Sith.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about him though. He's like I have the most stuff of him. Anyways, go ahead, D-Doc.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, I'm terrible with top 3s like for anything. But yeah, I love Darth Maul. He's one of my favorites. I grew up with Phantom Menace, so I'd say like I'd go with like for my top 3, Plagueis, Vader, and Plagueis, Darth Maul, Vader. That's where I'm gonna go.
Nice. How about Jedi? You got 3 Jedi? Or you can skip like if
you know what? I'm gonna go Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, Luke Skywalker.
Qui-Gon, nice.
I love Qui-Gon. I don't know why. It's like as I've gotten older, like I just like the more I watch Phantom Menace, I'm just like I love looking at the Hot Toys figures, and they just came out with Qui-Gon, and I'm just like looking at that thing. And I'm just
the
like,
Hot Toys.
How can I justify a $200 action figure to my wife?
Yeah, like everything on Hot Toys site is a white whale.
Yeah,
everything.
Everything.
Alfie, how about you? Give me 3 and 3.
Okay, before I get to that though, I should have brought these first, but I didn't think about it. Talking about white whales, I picked up 3 of them yesterday.
Look at him.
Power
those
of the
anniversary
Force
ones or those originals?
Power of the Force,
Power of the Force.
Power of the Force. I know they're not, vintage, like the vintage characters, but I was a little too old when they came out. I was in college, didn't have a lot of money, so I didn't get a whole lot of them. It's kind of what I want to go back and get.
Nice. You know what? I lucked out because, Scott, how old is your son?
He's 24.
24. Okay. So Joey's
still
28.
Still trying to kick him out of the nest. Yes.
Joey's 28. So I lucked out because I got to go buy all new Star Wars stuff and hang out with him during that late 90s run. And that was just a blast to do that.
That was a thing. That was a thing.
It was a good excuse. Honey, these are for Joey. I swear they're for Joey. Alfie, give me your 3 and 3.
Darth Revan, Sidious, and Darth Vader. Jedi. Let's see. I guess I'll go with Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Mm-hmm.
Anakin Skywalker and Luke Skywalker.
Man, I feel like this is a dark pod. Everybody's just ripping everybody's just going right through the Sith and the Jedi. We're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Scott, I'm going to go to you because we're the older group here. We're a few years older now.
Yeah.
Any differences on your Sith and your Jedi?
Yes. On my Sith list, Lumia.
Oh yes,
is on there.
Sith
right?
Witch.
With
yes.
the whip?
I have a great affection for her going back to the original appearances, when she was supposed to be a rebel in David Michelinie and Walt Simonson's Marvel Star Wars run.
She was the redhead in that, right? Didn't
she was Shira Bree.
Shira Bree.
Which I never pronounced right until I did David Michelinie's Star Wars story, and he set me straight on the pronunciation. So, Maul, I got to go like Joey. I got to go Maul and Vader next.
Nice.
I mean, Vader's just kind of it. Vader is the saga to me. So, Vader's there. For Jedi, Obi-Wan, you got Luke, and again to go back to my Marvel Star Wars people, I'm going to put Don Juan Quixote in there as well.
Oh gosh, one of my favorites. He was hanging out with Jackson right there.
Yes.
When are we getting the Don Juan
Excellent.
Quixote action figure?
We need him. We need him. And the Star Killer Kid.
Oh,
we need all those guys.
What was
Was
the
that-
young lady's name in the all pink? It looks like she was a
Amaza.
Oh boy.
Amaza.
Amaza. Yes. Jackson and Amaza. Yeah.
I always liked the porcupine guy.
Yes,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh God.
that was a
Oh,
great.
you messed
series.
me up there.
See, I will say you three here, Dave, Nick, and Joey, you missed out on that Marvel run. It got really crazy and off the rails for a while, but for us, that was the only thing keeping us going between movies.
Yeah. We didn't have VHS. You could either watch the Give a Show film strips, or the book and record, or read the Marvel books. So they were real Star Wars to us.
My favorite was always the Jedi that lived underwater that wore the fishbowl on his head.
Oh, Kiro.
Yeah,
Kiro. Yeah.
As a little kid, that blew my mind. Lightsaber that works underwater.
Hey,
Then they
Kiro,
brought it
man.
back- Then they brought it back in Clone Wars, right?
Yeah.
I mean, come on, they brought it back in
Did they?
battles. Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
with Kit
they
Fisto.
didn't bring him back, but they brought back fighting.
Kit
What's his
Fisto.
name? Kit Fisto fighting.
Kit
under
Fisto fighting under. Okay.
See, D-Doc and Nick, you guys, you may agree with me here. I was just thinking about it, but like, I will always have a special place in my heart for Kit Fisto, Plo Koon, Kia D. Mundi, because as the prequels, in that time when we were kids and the prequels were coming out, all we really knew was Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Yoda. And so then in the prequels, when you got Kit Fisto and Plo Koon and all these Jedis that are coming out of nowhere that have these different lightsabers, it's like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. Like, so those three definitely have a strong place in my heart and my childhood memory, just because I was like, wow, there's more Jedis and there's more lightsaber colors than just blue and green. So yeah, and Mace Windu, obviously the purple. I mean, all that stuff. It's just the best. Star Wars is great.
Star Wars is great. There's the title, Joe. Star Wars is great.
That you know what? That is 100th show is Star Wars is great.
To comment back on what Joey said about all these different Jedi, I remember me and my brother got there was a PlayStation 1 game called Star Wars Jedi Power Battles, and it was like like a scroller game, and they had like Plo Koon, they had Mace Windu in it and stuff, like back when they were like kind of like, you saw them, you saw episode 1 and stuff, but like they weren't that known then. So it was like, I remember I'd be like, I'm going to be the guy with the purple lightsaber. I'm going to be Mace Windu. Like, even though I didn't know that much about him, my brother was always Plo Koon. And it was like Joey said, it was just cool to see different Jedi.
Yep. I agreed. And Willie Harms with this one right here. The dinosaur-headed Jedi that Jango Fett killed in Attack of the Clones. Alfie brought that up the other day on the show because we were talking about
he didn't just get killed. He got gun smoked by Jango Fett.
That's right.
That's 2 weeks in a row that specific Jedi has been mentioned.
Do we know his name? I know I've got all the encyclopedias everywhere. I'm sure I've got it, but I don't remember his name off the top of my head.
Time to look.
Okay. We'll have to
Matt, you got it? I feel like you got it.
No, all my stuff's in storage. You see the bare walls around me, right?
No, I meant the name of that Jedi.
Oh, the name? No, I know, but I would have to look it up. That would have to be a look it up thing.
What?
Coleman Trebor.
Oh,
Coleman
so they named him
Trebor.
after Rob Coleman. Okay. Rob Coleman, the ILM guy. Yeah.
Just did his name backwards on the okay.
Oh.
They did a lot of
Rob
that.
Coleman, the guy who animated Yoda. Yeah.
Interesting.
Adam Bray. I love some of the stories he tells where they name stuff just like, oh, that guy. Yeah, we'll just flip it. Or I've got a friend over there. Let's just take his name and move the letters around.
That would be so fun. I want that job. I want to be in with Lucas in the formula, just like bullshitting and creating different stuff like that. That would be hilarious.
Well, isn't Orin Free Ta, isn't his name Corn Fritter?
Oh,
Isn't that where that comes from? I'm serious.
Is that real?
I think that's where George got that from. Orin Free Ta is like, oh, Corn Fritter. Yeah, that's it.
That sounds like a George thing right there. It's the same thing he did with the Neimoidians in the prequels with naming them after political people and stuff like that. Just move their name around just a little bit, right? Just enough to where it's a little different. So, sorry, I'm throwing some gummy Skittles in. I love some sugar. Hey, Brent's got a question. Brent Dykeman, who will be on later. Captain America, Qui-Gon Jinn, or He-Man, who are you taking in a fight? Captain America, Qui-Gon Jinn, or He-Man? And to go along with that, I know he asked me a while back, will a lightsaber go through the Captain America shield or not?
Vibranium.
Vibranium. So, Scott, I'll start with you. We'll go backwards. Captain America, Qui-Gon Jinn, or He-Man? You never got into He-Man. Did you get into He-Man? That was Glosson,
He-Man
right?
was He-Man was just outside my wheelhouse. I'm gonna go Qui-Gon for, obviously it's a Star Wars podcast. What am I thinking? But also, I think Qui-Gon's lightsaber wouldn't go through adamantium, but I think it would go through vibranium, and that would be the difference maker.
Can you
Plus Qui-Gon could, just throw him around if he needed to.
This is true.
Maybe he wouldn't have to touch him. Yeah.
All right, younger folk and Alfie, any thoughts on this one? Alfie, I'll go to you next. Captain America, Qui-Gon Jinn, or He-Man? Because you were more the age where He-Man was starting to come on.
He-Man's kind of my guy, but and going back to Joey and D-Doc and Nick, the thing about the prequels and the Jedi, that was always my biggest complaint, was they didn't do enough Jedi stuff in the prequels.
Right, they had so much there, and they just scratched the surface.
Like Obi-Wan, having problems with the little droids outside of his ship. Why didn't he just use the Force and knock them off?
You're amazing. Why not? That's right. Why not? I've never thought of that before.
Why is that a problem?
Yep.
Like, why didn't they just pick all the battle droids up and throw them?
That's not how the Force works.
Yeah, that's not how the
work
Force
in space.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, but we can pick up 1,000 rocks at one time to open up
In
the doorway.
space, no one can hear you, Force.
Hey, Charles Westcott. Hey, Nick, go ahead.
So maybe unpopular because it's a Star Wars thing. I've been rewatching all the Marvel movies. And again, my exposure to the Marvel comics are very low compared to like Star Wars comic books, Star Wars books, stuff like that. I'm going Chris Evans, Captain America. I don't think he's getting beat by Darth Maul.
Now, we didn't say who's sexier. We said
I'm with you.
Who would win in the fight?
I agree, but listen. What have I learned from those movies? Bet on Captain America.
Captain America.
In what world does Captain America go toe to toe with Thanos even for a second? And we all lose our minds in Endgame when he picks up the hammer and takes him out. So, hey, who knows? He could pick up a lightsaber. If you've not seen that,
you've got problems.
I don't know what to tell you. Yeah.
Yeah.
We probably spoiled 20 other things for you before we got to that.
No, that's like the people in Mando season 2 who still are like, if you mention Luke Skywalker, they're like, "Whoa, bro!" I'm like, "Fuck."
But Dave, I appreciate your sensitivity to it.
Well, I'm D-Doc, I'll let you finish here. Any thoughts on those three? Captain America, Qui-Gon, or He-Man? I know you're a big Qui-Gon fan.
Yeah, I think Captain. I'm like, I have a vision of Captain America kind of getting the shield and hitting Qui-Gon in the face the same way Darth Maul did.
Oh.
He-Man gets him, and then Captain America starts fighting He-Man, and he says, "Why are we fighting each other?" Kind of like Bucky, and then it turns into like 3 more movies.
Wow. Love it.
There's some fan fiction.
He starts having PTSD Bucky syndrome when he's fighting He-Man. He's like, "I can't do this."
We're speaking about Marvel and Marvel and Star Wars, and I'm just gonna throw this out there because we talk about the good and the bad here, and we love all Star Wars, but
except that one.
That movie right there.
Yeah, don't bring that one up.
But I would say this. Obviously, I was lucky enough to grow up in the original, see my son grow up with the prequels, and then see the sequels as I've gotten older. I find that still, while the originals and the prequels are still so near and dear to my heart, I haven't gotten that love yet. I watch them and I enjoy them, but I haven't got that love for the sequels. But what has replaced that for me during COVID and during the past few years has definitely been the Marvel movies. I grew up being a comic book kid, and Captain America was my guy growing up. So my wife and I never watched the Marvel movies when they initially came out. We were too busy with everything going on. And of course, COVID hits. We got a chance to sit down and just buzz through them. I am completely enamored with what they did with the Marvel series. And I don't know about you guys. You guys are younger. Scott, I'll get you and Alfie's opinion, but did you find that comparing the sequels compared to how the Marvel kind of thing was done, does it fill a little bit of that void for you, or do yes, I still want more Star Wars, but it was nice to have that to give me something to root for and watch and everything like that. Scott, I'll go with you first.
Oh, I go first again. Wow. I love the Marvel movies. I enjoy them. I love the interconnectedness of it. I'm one of these guys that I became a comic collector because my brother told me that anytime you buy a number one, it's going to be worth a fortune. And so anytime I saw number one on the stands, I will buy that because it's going to put me through college. And I bought The Thing number one. And in The Thing number two, because I'm also a completist, The Thing number two, he's got this big mess in the Baxter building. What happened here? You'll have to check out Fantastic Four number 256 to find out. Okay, so I buy Fantastic Four number 256, and then there's something glowing in the background. What is it? You got to check out Avengers 233 to find out. So I go buy Avengers 233. And so I love that sprawling canvas, the interconnectedness of those stories. So I love what they've done with the Marvel Universe on screen. I really do. But there's still a Star Wars-shaped hole in my heart.
Oh, yeah.
And the Marvel movies are their thing, and I love them. And I think for kids today, they are kind of that thing that we had when we had Star Wars. I don't think the sequel trilogy did that for them. But yeah, the Marvel movies aren't going to substitute for great Star Wars for me. They just can't.
No. I mean, what I was saying kind of was, if I would have felt like the sequels would have been more at the level of the prequels or the original trilogy, I wouldn't have had that. I need something to fill a little void for me, right? And Marvel just helped fill that void while I was watching those. So that's what I was saying. But guys, what do you, I mean, across the board, Marvel, Star Wars?
I don't know. I guess it's a character flaw of mine. I'm a loyal to probably to a fault when it comes to a lot of things, like
brand loyalty.
Yeah, I'm a huge IndyCar guy, so I don't care about all the rage with Formula One. I don't watch it because I'm an IndyCar guy. Like, with Marvel, I get it. Like, I know it's huge. I know it's awesome, but I'm just a Star Wars guy. Like, I just like Scott said. I mean, I feel like I can acknowledge the greatness of that and how everybody loves it, but at the same time, I'm just like, I prefer to be in space and like have lightsabers and the Force, and you guys, you have capes and everything. That's great. Like I will watch a Marvel movie to try to get into it, or to, like Dad said, kind of fill some time. But to me personally, there's nothing like the excitement of a new Star Wars show, of the build up and the anticipation of a Star Wars movie in theaters. It's just some of the best memories of my life. So I haven't had that with Marvel because I was a prequel kid that still kind of came up at that age, and I just missed me with the Marvel. So it is what it is.
Nick, go ahead.
There is a fine line between a cape and a robe. I would just like to put that out there. A full-length Jedi robe and a cape, which is more obstructive. I'm with you, Joey. I think that makes a ton of sense, especially like I never have had I've seen all the Marvel movies. We just went and saw Shang-Chi last night, which, by the way, first time in a movie theater since pre-COVID, and
nice.
you just can't replace it. Like, it was phenomenal. But
go
for it.
I was going to say, during COVID, I saw Empire Strikes Back in the theater 3 times.
That was my first one, but I didn't wait in line 6 hours for a Marvel movie. Like, never have I ever done that, right? Whereas when Force Awakens came out, I got there at like 2 p.m. and waited forever. So I'm with you, Joey. Makes sense.
I want to know from Joey, do you have a copy of the single I Am Indy, and are there any more words to it than that?
No, I maybe my dad does. I do not. That is not in my repertoire.
No, sure.
That's not my man corner.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Want to make sure.
Yeah.
Alfie, Dave, how about you? Marvel, Star Wars. I mean, look, obviously I host a Star Wars podcast. It is my love, my passion. I just have this little nook and cranny for Captain America that Marvel thing lit the fire just right when I got to see Captain America. So go ahead.
It's pretty close for me. I'm not nearly, I would say, fanatical about Marvel, but I've watched all the movies. I love them. I wasn't really that in depth of a comic book guy, but I remember late 90s when I first read about the MCU, and I followed it all the way, to the Infinity War. So I was just so excited about that. I thought they did a perfect job with it. That was always one of my favorite books. But yeah, it's just not the same as Star Wars.
Yep.
To me.
It's
Although
true.
I will say that they do a really good job in the movies of taking some very obscure things and making them insanely popular.
Like what, real quick?
Guardians of the Galaxy. If you could have found 100 people on the street that had ever, really heard of that before when the first trailer came out. But now, I mean, that was a great movie.
Absolutely. Very entertaining.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I mean, as big a hit as Shang-Chi's become, I did a read through of Master of Kung Fu last year because of COVID, and the movie is almost nothing like the book, but they have taken this little obscure thing and made it into a huge hit.
Interesting.
Oh.
I'm looking forward to seeing it. My movie adventure recently was Free Guy with Ryan Reynolds, and I will tell you, there was a lightsaber and Captain America's shield and Hulk's fist all in the movie. So
Spoiler alert again, dude. Jeez, that just came out. What are you doing?
none of you are going to go see it. Come on, you guys.
My
all
last
right.
movie was Empire and Jaws. I saw them both on the same day.
Wow.
That was in
That's a
that
good
I
combo.
haven't been to the movie since 1980.
lull in between COVID 1 and 2.
Oh gosh. Okay. Well, hey, because we got things moving, and I've got like 7 or 8 minutes till the next crew comes in. I want to go to Scott and Joey. We'll let you guys finish out the hour here. Any topic you want to hit, anything you guys want to hit on Star Wars related, I want it to be your time because some of us are going to be around for a couple hours and take care of all this. I wanted to hear from you guys. One, again, I can't thank you guys enough for taking the time out of your day to come and be a part of this. It's a big deal for us, and we really appreciate it. And Scott, just not knowing you or you not knowing me from Adam and taking the time to be a part of our show on different guest times and things like that. You're a great guy, and you do great things. So thanks for being a part of it. So,
Well, I appreciate you reaching out because I love what you guys do and I love your passion for this stuff.
well, thank you.
I will say as my couple things as my parting words. One, again, congrats to all of you. Congrats to Dad on keeping it going and so often podcasts and things get started and they just fizzle out for the first 5 or 6 episodes, and this is going on well over a year now, almost 2 years, really.
Year and a half, yeah.
Year and a half, and 100 episodes. It's fantastic and makes me super happy. And my last thing will be, it is one of my life goals to write or be a part of or make it happen to have the Family Guy prequel parodies come about, because the original ones are such a part of my life and so funny and so good. The prequel ones, I think, deserve it as well. There's so much comedy there. And so I definitely will be trying to come to you guys if I ever get the chance for you guys' jokes and one-offs on that. Because I believe in my heart of hearts, my soul of souls, that it just needs to happen.
I would love it. We use those lines all the time in the show. We it's like we know those as well as we know.
Absolutely.
So good.
So good. Yeah.
Scott,
So Dad, thank you for having me, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have fun again, and then super proud of you guys, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
Joey, thank you for getting me to start this. And if you wouldn't have done it, we wouldn't be here today. Thank you. And I know you're super busy, and for you to hop on and take time, I really appreciate it, man. And just thanks for getting it started and being a part of it the whole way, even behind the scenes, and helping me all the time. So thank you, man.
Of course, Pops. Yep. I'll talk to you guys.
You
All
got
right.
it. See you, Joey.
Yeah. Star Wars is great forever. Bye.
Scott, I tell you what, any closing thoughts on you? Anything you want to hit on Star Wars? We got 5 minutes. You can blow it, man. We are here to listen and
Well,
what you want to talk about. And Alfie, so
I have a piece here called Marvel Star Wars in 5 minutes, but I actually did write. No, I did. I produced that one time. I played it at a con one time, or I did it live at a con with a slideshow. I forgot about that. I'll have to do that. I'm not going to do it now because I was not prepared. But let's see what Alfie has to say.
yeah, hit it, Alfie.
one real quick while we were doing this. Those got opened.
What happened?
Oh no!
Oh no!
What?
His
Oh,
2-year-old is a Star Wars fanatic, and if she
That's
sees it-
amazing.
yeah, if she sees one in the box, it's out of the box.
I wasn't watching. But Scott, real quick, since we spent the majority of the last time you were on talking about Heir to the Empire, do you see a possibility of that coming back in live action through the Mando and other series?
Strictly speaking, I hope not. I like what they've done since the Disney buyout. I don't say I like all that they've done, but I like the things that they've done where they've taken story elements and they've kind of repurposed them, repositioned them, recontextualized them. And so I hope that they do any of that stuff. And I would love for them to do elements of those stories. Don't get me wrong. Oh no, Steve Glossen's here. Shh. Everybody, shh. I'd love for them to redo elements of those stories, but if they do, I'd like them to recontextualize. I don't want a straight up adaptation.
Yeah, that's more what I mean.
Yeah. Taking bits and
Yeah, I'd
pieces.
love to see that.
Yeah.
I'd love to see a little bit of that. Now, I will also tell you this, and this is probably the biggest sin that I will ever commit. I think Thrawn as a premise is completely ludicrous. I've never seen anybody who can look at a painting and win a battle based on the painting. I'm sorry. It just, oh, look, there's a Ming vase. Let me tell you how to beat the Chinese. It doesn't happen that way. It can't happen that way. And it just drives me nuts when they do that. But that's just me.
Oh God.
I'll cool it because Steve is here.
I did see a really good meme about that, and it was a guy looking at a Van Gogh painting, and they're like, "Well, what do you think?" He's like, "I don't know, but I think I could beat him in a naval battle."
All right. Let me ask you this. Do you have somebody coming on with Steve, or am I getting kicked off immediately?
Mr. Bray will hop on in 3 minutes.
Oh, Bray is
3
too?
minutes.
Okay, never mind. Because I found the Marvel Star Wars in 5 minutes, but I can't. I literally summarized the entire run of Marvel Star Wars in 5 minutes, but I don't have time to do it, so it's going to have to. And plus, I haven't rehearsed it.
Do you have it? Oh, you've got it. Okay, you haven't got it recorded. You just got to read.
Oh, I do. I did record it at some point, but I did. This was not that. This is the script for it.
Oh,
I found it, but yeah, it'll have to be another time.
You want me to tell Adam to hold off for 3 minutes?
No,
for you to go
no, do not. No.
Okay.
We do not. We want Adam Bray on there because he recorded a podcast with me a year and a half ago, and it still hasn't come out yet. So I don't want to shortchange him anymore.
Next time we all get together on a show, one of the first and foremost things we're going to do is I want to hear that. That will be the first thing on the agenda.
Either that or you didn't mention the possibility we could get Glosson off in favor of Bray, and then I could do it.
Listen, Scott, I've been sitting here polite. I just you're talking smack about Thrawn. You're like, who can believe that someone can look at art and tell something about someone's culture? Who can believe
No, sir.
They're battles. They're fighting.
Yeah, they could win a battle. Most of these artists are pacifist boobs anyway.
No, that's what you don't understand.
I mean,
back in those days, it was the art of the warrior a long time ago.
Yeah, that Mona Lisa, man. I could beat the crap out of the Italians if I had Mona Lisa.
Man, that's the next one.
I'll draw you a picture. I'll draw you a picture, Scott. And
Yeah.
see what you can decide.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'll show you where you touched me.
Oh guys, no.
Over there. Well, I tell you, Glossy's gonna come out here now and kick me off. He's got, I'm so skinny and he's so fat. He just kicked me right off.
All right, Ryven, you've stirred up enough stuff here, man. Thank you for the hour. We're gonna get these yahoos going here and hear all their funny stuff because these guys.
Absolutely.
I'm ready for that. Thank you so much again for being here, and we'll start hour number 2, man. Thanks so much.
Thanks for the invite. I love you guys. I will see you soon, hopefully.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Hey,
Hey,
everybody.
how you doing, Mr. Glosson?
Hey, how are you? Is my audio okay?
I can hear you just fine.
Sounds
I
great.
Okay.
So, I will say this. Look, there's Mr. Bray, and is he wearing a Mandalorian hat? I'm trying to see that there. Watch, his internet will go bad. It's Steve Gloss and Adam Bray. When they're together, Bray's internet goes bad. So,
you know what? That I'm going to say something that's true.
I know.
Like I hear him on all these other shows, and he's absolutely, just absolutely clear as a bell and fresh as a daisy. But the minute he and I are on a show together, he's like, hey, yeah, hey, yeah, and I'm like, it must be me. It must be me.
You might be the jinx. You might be the monkey. You might be the wrench in his monkey or the monkey in his wrench. How does that work? I don't know. Yes, Dave. Hey, because I'm too busy to even think about typing, you're here with us till 8:30, Dave. So you're good. So hey, Steve, one of the things that you and I have done some shows together, and you and I and Adam have done shows together. But
Right.
some of my crew was here tonight, and you've always said, do they not like me? Do they not want to be around me? This is the one and only Mr. Steve Glosson and Mr. Adam Bray. This is part of the crew. We got D-Doc right here, Dave. We've got Alfie. We've got Nick. So, guys, these are two of my favorite guys to listen to when they're Star Wars talk. I'm glad you're all here together. Steve, while Adam's internet goes in and out, you just lead the show. Throw a topic out there, Steve, because I know you're good at that. See what Dave, Alfie, and Nick and I say.
I've got nothing. I'm here along for the ride. Hey guys, good to meet you guys.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I will say this, that a few minutes ago I was screaming at the YouTube saying it's Coleman Trebor, say it. And Alfie came back around and said it's Coleman Trebor, guys. So I was like, that's the dinosaur headed. So, but yeah,
Oh gosh.
I was like, get it right. Come on. And I knew Ryfin wouldn't know. Ryfin purports to be this Star Wars fan. All of Ryfin's Star Wars knowledge ends in 1993.
All right, so you're saying that, and I've got Dave born in 91, right? I got Alfie 77, Nick in 93. So Scott's knowledge ends when half of them are born. So
That's right. So thank God you guys are there to pick up the torch and carry it, because Lord knows Scott Ryfin won't. Well, I don't even know there was a blue dinosaur headed man in Star Wars. And Adam's just sitting there at attention, at rapt attention.
Adam, can you hear us? Are you responding? Look, you're already getting him worked up, Steve.
Them's fighting words.
Adam, can you hear me? Can I hear you?
Who was that red-faced man with the two lightsaber thing? That was, you know what? And who uses a double-bladed lightsaber? There's no galaxy where that would be actually useful.
Well, I do like the dual lightsaber red-faced man, but I will. These guys, believe it or not, Steve, Alfie, Dave, and Nick. Nick, did you listen to many podcasts before we started?
None.
And Dave, how about you? Did you listen to many podcasts?
Yeah, I listen to podcasts. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, Alfie,
Not
before
like religiously, but
before we started Rule the Galaxy, Alfie had said he'd never even heard a podcast. So
No.
I will say this for you guys, and then for our listeners and followers and everything like that. Scott, you're going to keep getting me laughing here.
This is my impersonation of Adam right now.
Yeah, so Adam's coming here in a minute, but this guy right here is one of the he runs Geek Out Loud, the podcast, and for those who are listening, for those who are watching, and for you guys, check it out, because not only does he talk about Star Wars, but he talks about Marvel, DC. He talks about G.I. Joe, He-Man,
Just whatever's on my mind. Yeah,
whatever's on his mind, and he makes me laugh every time, and that's why when I reach out to him as well, to hear him come back to me and say, yeah, let's do a show, I was like, great, I get to laugh for an hour and hang out with this guy who I've been listening to forever. So thank you. Adam, are you with us? Are you live? He's smiling.
Come on, Adam, you can do it. Adam.
Hey, can you hear me?
We hear you now.
How bad is the delay, Adam?
It's pretty bad. It's like you guys are all talking through vocoders and it pauses.
Oh.
It
I'm
keeps
sorry.
dumping me off, so that's
Well,
all right.
I will say this: you and Alfie are both wearing the Mandalorian logo hats right there. I like that. The is that the Boba Fett logo or the Mando logo?
that's
Boba
Fett.
That's
Boba
Boba
Fett.
Fett. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
So Death's head.
Well, we're gonna try to get you up and going, Mr. Bray, because I know both of you have been on our show a number of times,
Mhm.
and here we go. Sorry, Adam, I was trying to read your message there. Adam has been a guy who has written for a little bit of everything, Marvel, Star Wars, But I'll tell you what, I bring this book out, and for those of you who don't have it, and first of all, it's like, which way am I going? It's like 50 pounds. It's a huge book. But when you buy a book from Adam, at author Adam Bray on Twitter or any other kind of social media, you buy a book from him that he's done, check out this. Now, I know I told you guys that I was a big Captain America fan, but check that out. He puts a message, do a little drawing, then makes it personal to where it's not just, hey, there you go, take the book, get on, whatever. He takes the time to make it personal for you. I love this book. This was awesome. It's been great reading. And so thank you, Adam, for getting this to me and for making it with the signature and the drawing and everything like that in there. So
You could kill something with that book.
it's a huge book. It's gigantic. Adam, how you doing? Anything new going on? I've been loving you and Steve. You guys have been loving the What If shows that you've been doing recently. They've been great. Is anybody else, Dave, Alfie, or Nick, watching the What Ifs?
Yes.
Okay.
They're awesome.
I just finished the zombie one today. That was pretty good.
The podcast they've been doing recently, it's under Chewy's Cantina and Geek Out Loud, right? Are you kind of doing it together? Yep. They've been doing every 2 weeks a recap of the What Ifs, and they are great. I mean, it's like, man, I missed that. Oh, I didn't see that. And they're like you, Alfie. They see everything, and yeah. So, guys, floor is open. Any topics that either one of you want to hit? If not, Dave, Alfie, Nick, bring up some topics, and we'll get rolling. And I'll get some of these messages out to everybody here real quick. Go ahead, Nick.
I'm curious for Scott and Adam for Steve and Adam that just jumped in. I read Scott because Scott's comment popped up as it happened. So Steve, don't hold that against me. But I'm curious for the two of you guys. There was a question that was posed in the last hour. What was like the white whale merchandise item, like Star Wars item that like you either didn't get that you wanted or you got later in life? I'd be curious.
Okay. For me, Adam, I'll just jump on unless you've got one right off the bat.
Go ahead, Steve.
All right, great.
Adam's just smiling.
Adam,
he's a happy guy.
Yeah. For me as a kid, I wanted an AT-AT or an AT-AT, depending on where you're from. I wanted an AT-AT really, really bad, and I never ever got one. And so I was I was a grown up and was at a flea market down in Jacksonville, Florida, with a friend. And there was a dude that had a little kiosk there that he had all kinds of Star Wars stuff and everything. This was back in the early 2000s. And the dude had an AT-AT, and it had been sitting there. It was kind of dusty and everything. And he gave me a pretty good price on it. Of course, it didn't have, all those vintage AT-ATs are missing the chin guns. And it only had one. And I was like, he's like, well, I'm going to keep the chin gun. I'll sell it to you for this price. I'm going to keep it. I think it was like $40. I'll sell it to you for $40, but I'm going to keep the chin gun. I'm like, hey, man, come on. You know how hard it is to find these things. That's right, Scott, Pecan Park. And I was like, that's the name of the flea market, Pecan Park or Pecan Park, depending on where you're from. It's a pecan park. It's a flea market. I guess if it's a flea market, though, you're going to call it Pecan Park. Anyway, if you've been there, it's a pecan. Anyway, he's like, give me the, I'm like, come on, dude, you're not going to find another chin gun, and no one's going to stumble into your store saying, hey, you got an AT-AT chin gun? He's like, all right. So I get the bad boy. I take it home. I'm cleaning it up. I'm turning up because it was really bad dusty. And as I turn it, something's rattling inside. And so I open it up to see what's rattling around, and inside the battery compartment is the second chin gun. So, yeah, it was a really cool moment in my life. And, I mean, look, that stuff happens to me so rarely. And I was just like, this is the only win I'll ever have when it comes to collecting Star Wars. So, but yeah, for me, I don't know that I've gotten anything else collecting-wise in my adult collecting life, especially, that has brought me that much joy to actually get my hands on outside of that AT-AT. They've done a great AT-AT since. The giant AT-AT they did back, I guess it was still pre-2010, 2011-ish, the Legacy AT-AT. Huge, great play set, great vehicle. And I had it, and I had to sell it, but I miss it terribly, and you can't find one at a decent price. But that vintage AT-AT is just, to me, still nothing to me touches that thing, just because of the story and because of how badly I wanted it as a kid.
That's like you said, you rarely find wins.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's great to get that. And I know for me, I see all these people posting all the time. Well, I'm at this Walmart, or I'm at this Target, or I'm at this, and oh, look what I found. I don't find anything like that. And
No.
and to find something that's not priced like, oh gosh, there goes next month's mortgage. It's just rare. So I'm glad you found that.
What really burns my biscuits are the people in these Facebook groups that like have these pictures of like this huge collection they just happen to find at a yard sale or something. And I'm sorry, they're lying. They're not telling. That's not true. That's not real life. You don't go out to a yard sale on a Saturday morning and find someone's vintage Star Wars collection. They're just, going to give you for $10 or whatever, And I always get a little irritated at that, but that's just my cynicism with the world as it is.
Nope.
Steve, when you say that, like I'm unfamiliar with that. So they're like, what do they go like eBay it or something like that, or they go and then they say like, oh, I just found it.
Yeah, usually what they do is they'll post someone in these groups, these different toy groups. They'll have a picture of several different. Sometimes it's a big thing that they've, big set of things they found. Sometimes it's just a couple of little ships or whatever. And they'll say, found this morning. And generally they're out at a yard sale. They've gone to a garage sale or a yard sale and happened to stumble across someone. So, and you do find the occasional, good piece at someone's yard sale or garage sale, but it's very rare you find someone who's just putting up a full vintage collection out at a yard sale, because generally people with Star Wars stuff, especially the older stuff, they either know what they have or they think they have something more than what they've had. And that's kind of one of the frustrating things about collecting. Alfie, I saw your 2 cards that you held up as I was coming in that your kid opened there, and
Yeah.
I'm like, well, were those the Black Series on that card, or are those the original 90s?
Yeah, they were the 90s Power of the
Power of
Force.
the Force? Okay,
Yeah.
well,
I just bought them the other day.
Yeah, and you can find those things for a pretty good price, unless it's someone that thinks Star Wars is just, more valuable from the 90s than it is, and they'll charge you out the wazoo.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, they weren't too bad. And like you said, with these groups, I really had to stop myself because I met this person at the high school off of Facebook Marketplace, and it was a nice old lady. She was selling, and she had like 6 Walmart bags full of figures still on the card.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm.
I got to go.
Yeah, that's a fun thing. Yeah, I get tempted by stuff like that too, even though I'm trying to cut back a lot of my collecting stuff, but I still get tempted by the Star Wars stuff, even though I'm not really hardcore collecting Star Wars. It was Willie Harms has a good question.
Yes. I left it up there. I figured everybody give your thoughts on that real quick. And real quick, Adam, are you here? Can we hear you and back to us? I'm gonna say no. He's on a big delay.
He still looks good. So.
He does. I mean,
it's a fun game we're playing with Adam.
And there he goes.
He's spinning again.
So, Willie, you've been with us here all night tonight. What's one toy or collectible you suggest, or for someone who is just starting to collect, or where would you suggest they go to look for items? It really depends on a few topics, like how much are you looking to spend? What's kind of your favorite things? I'm gonna start with D-Doc because he's getting into this, and I'll go to Alfie because he's out there hunting and find it. D-Doc, you weren't a real collector of like figures and stuff before you started hanging out with us. Where would you start, and where did you start, and what did you grab?
I started with Black Series, and I want to say the first Black Series I got was a Death Trooper, because it's just one of my favorite troopers. I don't know why. It's just when they came in Rogue One, you see them in The Mandalorian. I just think they're badass. There's a decent amount of mystery to them still. I don't really truly know that there's humans underneath those helmets. I don't know if anyone's ever confirmed that. But yeah, I was like, you know what? I'll get what I want. But now I'm getting to the point where I'm like, looking back on some characters, like I got a Dooku Black Series. I don't know. It's just like I like looking for deals. I also like to just see them in the store. It's like part of the hunt is one of the most exciting parts about it. Is it's like, all right, I got to go to Target to get this. I'm going to the Star Wars section first and seeing what they have there. I mean, I've always been a Lego collector for like the last 7 years. That was my primary thing. It still is. But the figures have been taken over a bit for Lego lately. So that's my biggest. I probably have at least I don't know. I probably have I don't know how many Lego collections. They used to all be on a beautiful shelf. They're all in storage right now.
Alfie, how about you? Where would you start, and where somewhere would you tell Willie to start looking into it?
Well, I'm going to go the opposite here, Joe, and I'm going to give some advice to Willie and tell you anything that says Black Series or Funko, put it down, walk away, and never remember it again. Avoid it like the plague because it never ends.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm with you, Doc. I like the hunt. Yakface released a bunch of stuff today about Target exclusive Black Series and vintage collection. What's the point? There's no figures to buy. So what? We're like 50 figures, behind on what should have been in the store, and we've seen zero. So
Yakface gives me hope every time I see them post. I'm just like, maybe I'll stop at a store and I'll see it. Like, who knows?
His account gives you that false hope because there's picture after picture of here I'm in Du Bois, Iowa at this, Walmart in Timbuktu, and they have a whole rack of nothing but Star Wars guys.
Yeah, I've kind of given up. I was getting into it hot and heavy over COVID, where I was chasing the a little bit of everything Black Series and whatever, because I never collected any of that. But what I found is now that I had that little run and that surge of energy, I really want the ones that mean something to me from when I was a kid. And I really want, you guys can't see it, but right behind me, I've got a whole box of, not a box, but like a case up on my wall that's all original, Kenner, and they're all open. Look, I'm not trying to pay for my kids' college here. They're all open, but I got all of them up there. And the other thing that's kind of attracted me is one thing that I missed out on because of my age and timing were the clones. And you know what? The 3 3/4 clone figures, for some reason, man, they just draw me in. So I really enjoy those. But Willie, it really comes down to where you want to go and what you want to do and what you're looking for, because you can spend your mortgage on it, or you can, go to flea markets, go to antique malls, go to garage sales. And I think everybody agrees that the hunt of it is the best part of it. So
start with the character.
Well,
pick a character and go with it.
That's what I was going to say, Alfie, was start with a character.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. I'm just saying I'm agreeing with you. Start with your favorite character and just go from there. Don't try to do everything. Don't try to collect everything, because you never will. Alfie mentioned Funko Pops and Black Series. The Funko Pops especially are just, they never end. They have, I don't know how they get all the licenses they do and how they get product out so quickly and how it's distributed so much better than anything Hasbro does or even Mattel does at this point. But it's out there. Lego is fun. A lot of people like the fun of Lego and Lego is actually interesting because it doesn't necessarily lose value if you're looking for value. Lego sets don't necessarily lose value when you open them as much. They actually kind of, as long as all the pieces are there and the minifigures are there, they kind of retain their value.
Real quick, I'm going to hop in there because I feel terrible because Adam is one of my favorites, and I love all the stuff he does, and he's always a great guest, but his internet is just not connecting with us. So, Adam, I apologize. Keep trying, but I only have like 10 more minutes with you.
Oh.
So go ahead. Yeah,
I wanted to show off these because these are the new series that Lego's doing, and I think it's like one of the best things they've done in like the last, like really since I've started collecting, is they're doing all these helmets now. So like you got the Scout Trooper helmet here, which like you look at these things like 360, they are freaking awesome. And you start building it, and like when you're building these, you're just like, how is this going to turn into this helmet? I got the Stormtrooper right here too. They come with these nice stands. Like they're just like nice to display. Like just the detail on it is awesome. So it's like that's what I like about Lego the most. Like Steve was saying, is it's like, you know, it's fun or whatever. It's like I feel like you kind of like create like a personal bond with your Lego while you're building it. So that's what connected me to it. Is it's like, you know, you throw on a Star Wars movie or you listen to a Star Wars audiobook while you're sitting there building a Lego, and you get the finished product and throw it up, and it's like you really don't forget like the builds. Like each one I look at, I'm kind of like, yeah, I remember when I did that and like what I watched or what I was, you know, listening to or whatever. That's what I like about them the most.
Yeah, I also think that you need to be willing to, like, if you want to go after everything, if you want to be a quote unquote completist, you're going to drive yourself nuts. And so you really kind of have to set your parameters and decide. For me, when it comes to Star Wars, just for a host of myriad of reasons, I decided, you know what, I'm going to hang around in the original trilogy era, and maybe some prequel trilogy era, and just kind of leave my collecting in that little realm. I got out of the Black Series. I was an avid Black Series collector up until The Force Awakens. I had just about every single Black Series figure, including exclusives, up until really Rogue One's release. And then when I was selling everything to make room and to get ready to be married, the Black Series kind of went out the door because they were easy to, those are other things that are pretty easy to resell.
Correct.
And not as much maybe now because of the way you're going to want a mint in box now, because of the way Hasbro has chosen to re-release some of the figures that have gone by the wayside, because Hasbro will take a figure out of, Hasbro will put their circulation out and be done. Like, don't think that it's like the old days when you used to find Han Solo in his New Hope outfit on a Return of the Jedi card. That doesn't happen anymore. Hasbro's like, here's this wave of 6 figures. Hope you find it. All right, you didn't. See you later, you know. And then next thing you know, you're like on eBay. I just want this Luke Skywalker and Dagobah outfit. Well, that'll be $500, sir. You know. Oh, okay. You know, I didn't realize I was paying for gold.
Oh gosh, I don't know who just dropped a bomb, but it's okay.
Yeah,
Hey.
I don't understand how they sell out of pre-orders. That's what blows my mind. You're pre-ordering.
Yeah,
the customer is telling you how many to make. No, we're done after 15 seconds. We're done.
What happens is these different retailers. I just found this out the other day. There's a YouTube channel. I don't want to promote anyone else on here. But
You're fine.
Can find it if you go look for Nerdzoic. That's the name of the YouTube channel. This dude does toy reviews and stuff, and he also opened a toy selling shop online. And he kind of just said, here's the deets. Here's how we do our business, and here's how we get things done. And you have your retailers, but then you have your distributors. The distributors are like a middleman between Hasbro and the retailers. And so even on Hasbro Pulse, they order a certain number of items from the distributors, so that, because all the stuff that they promote and say is out there and is going up for pre-order has already been made. It's not like you're pre-ordering it and then they put it into production. It's already been made. So let's say you're using Dorkside Toys. Dorkside Toys has already ordered, with really almost blind ordering based on all the code words and crap they use in the distributors, work with them. They've already blind ordered X amount of cases of the next vintage wave. And so if there's a figure in there that everybody wants and everyone goes to Dorkside at 1 p.m. on Tuesday afternoon when those things first go up for pre-order, they're going to sell out of their pre-order capability there. And I feel like, and so part of me feels like, well, that seems a little underhanded and a bad way of doing business. I don't know of a better way to do that model. But I also look and say, what I see out there often is there's still a demand for things that people somehow missed out on. And what I'm told by people are, well, toys are mostly for the kids markets. This line of toys is mostly for kids anyway, and all this other stuff. And I'm like, I don't think that's true, because they're never on the pegs for kids to be able to pick up. So you can't tell me this is a kid's hobby or this is something for kids where mom and dad are walking down the aisle and they see this Spider-Man figure, because guess what? That Spider-Man figure has been sold out and I can't buy it online for less than $70. And I know mom and dad aren't going shopping on eBay for their kids' toys. So mom and dad settled for the chintzy little Spider-Man, action figure over here that's not a Marvel Legends. Meanwhile, you're trying to sell me a bill of goods that this line is for kids, and I know that it is not.
Hey, real quick, I'm going to throw a monkey wrench into this here real quick. Well, first of all, Brent Dykeman has joined us because his internet's working, and Adam, I've been trying to get Adam to come on, and it's not working well.
I hate
and
that.
I know I feel terrible because I feel like such a schmo that I'm sitting there and I can see him hop in and out, and he's not working. So I'll make it up to him. I will have a show with Adam ASAP. We'll just do a show and talk about what he wants to talk about. But what are your guys' thoughts on something like this? Because I'm not a big. I like the 3 3/4. That's my thing. I mean, I bought some 6-inch of my favorite characters, but I'm such a big Captain Rex and Ahsoka fan that this is the Disney toy box version that was just out of the Disney stores or Shop Disney. And because, like you said, Steve and Alfie, I started with a couple characters. And yes, I've got plenty of Lukes and plenty of Obi-Wans, but I wanted to have a few more Captain Rex and Ahsokas. Am I really silly for buying this, or is this okay to add to the collection? Because it's not a 3 3/4. It's something odd that Disney created, but I just couldn't pass it up. Alfie, I'll let you start.
Yes, you are silly for buying that, and you should sell that to me as soon as possible. No, I think those are cool figures. And, I really, there's a line of Star Wars figures I think I bought from you actually that are that size that I really like. My daughter really likes them just because they're just a little bit bigger.
Okay. I mean, they're beautiful characters. They're just not,
I'm kind of the opposite here because like what just happened, everything in our house gets opened because my daughter loves Star Wars and she plays with it every single day. So, we're constantly going to the store looking and everything's empty.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree.
And that's one thing that gets me about Yak Face's page. He'll post pictures of stores and stuff and people always comment, "Oh, those are peg warmers. Those are peg warmers. That's junk." Well, you know what? I would like to have some junk to buy.
Your pegs are cold over there.
Yeah, there's nothing.
So go ahead, Nick.
Are you crazy? Or would you say, am I silly for buying this? Joe, you've gone down the rabbit hole. And once you've gone down the rabbit hole, you can't come back out of the rabbit hole. So no, it's not. It's all collectible, right? Everything's collectible from a certain point of view. There you go.
Okay. I like it.
I think if you dig it, then you buy it. I mean, I think that's kind of the kicker there. A lot of people like the more stylized stuff like that. The toy box is the offshoot of that Disney Infinity series they had that went with the video game a while back, and so toy box is kind of the doing the versions similar to what they did with the Infinity series. I think there's a little more articulation stuff to them than there was, but there's also another line. Well, there used to be the Galactic Heroes back in the day that I knew some kids that love that stuff, but I also know some grown-up collectors that just really love the collectability of, almost like got to catch them all kind of thing. And the first Clone Wars series, the Genndy Tartakovsky Clone Wars series, when those figures were initially released, they were very stylized like that. And it's something different, it's something to kind of contrast what's already up there. And if you like these characters, then get those characters in whatever version you can, because that's, you're just celebrating the character and as much as anything.
Nope, I agree. I really appreciate that because I felt bad, but I was like, it's different, but I was like, heck with it, I'm getting it. Hey,
have you seen the Millennium Falcon? Sorry to cut you off, but
right.
Have you seen the toy box Millennium Falcon?
It's gorgeous.
That is, oh my gosh, that's sweet looking.
So
little one.
Yeah, it's more miniature.
I bought that for my little guy.
Yeah, I think that's going to be underneath the Christmas tree.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Hey, so we're gonna do another line shift here in a minute. Dave, thank you for being the newest member of the Rule of the Galaxy crew. We love having you on full time now. Thanks for being a part of this and being a part of the 100th episode. And I know you just came on recently, but you're a big part of what we do now and what you do online for us. And the sign behind me right here that you did for me is fabulous. So thank you. We're gonna do some nostalgia things here. We're gonna bring back one of our old hosts who hasn't been around for a while, so I'm gonna bring him on here in a few. But thank you again, and can't wait to see where we go on the way to 200.
Of course. All right. Yeah, it's awesome being on here, and I really appreciate it. I joined Twitter, never imagined myself being on a podcast after joining it because I was late to the game. But yeah, I love it. I'm excited for the future here, and congratulations on 100 episodes. I mean, I'm new here, so I'm a mortal amongst gods when it comes to Star Wars knowledge for you guys. So
okay. Well,
my buddy told me he's like, you know what? He's like, you're pretty good for that podcast because he's like, those guys know a lot more about Star Wars than you do. He's like, you bounce it out a little bit.
Well, we appreciate it, man. Thanks
he's like,
so
I'm
much.
not saying you don't know enough, but he's like, they know more than you. I was like, I know.
Well, you bring a lot to the table.
All right,
we
guys.
look forward to seeing where it goes. Thanks.
All right, fun as always. Later.
Talk to you. And hey, we didn't get a chance to say much to Brent Dykeman there because we were going on our toy binge that we usually go on. Brent, how are you? One of our mainstays as a co-host on the show. How you doing? Welcome to Show 100. We appreciate you being here.
I'm doing great, and I'm honored to be on with the Steve Glosson, and so I can actually physically see him, even though we're at a distance. I've listened to all of the episodes that he's been on with you, so I'm wanting to be entertained, and all I can say is toy mania and the toy business, the toy drive to collect has been lost on me. However,
yeah, wait, Steve, he's going to drop the other shoe now.
However, it was because of this toy search that led me into my Star Wars Legion passion and where I'm at now. So, Steve, do you know anything about Legion?
I don't. Is that the miniature game?
It is the miniature game. It is like the Warhammer. It is the 1.5 inches where you actually have to paint up your characters. So what happened was Joe, while he was on his binge, his drive, looking at hunting during COVID, I was bored, so I started searching the internet for Star Wars toys, and I just kept coming to Star Wars Legion, and then I watched a couple commercials, and then I watched some of the battle reports of people playing the game, and I'm totally hooked on this game. So that passion of like the hunt, I get it because I try to get every new product that comes out. There's about 30 different communities that I'm a part of on social media, all about Legion. Like it is, but it's a 3-dimensional chess game with Star Wars figures. So it's just like when we were kids throwing and using our figures around in the backyard and thinking, hey, Vader's going to force choke you and you're going to die. You can do that. You can say, I force choke you and one of the units dies. You can say that, Nick shakes his head because he actually played it and it was so cool. Like you live that giddy of like swinging the lightsaber and cutting through and slicing through 3 or 4 different people in one swipe with a roll of the dice. So
Steve, I've listened to you a lot and I hear the passion you bring to things, and Brent's passion for Legion is like your passion when you're putting the right cape on Doctor Strange and have the wire that like he's the same way. And I'm like, I hope Steve never gets into Star Wars Legion because he'll never be able to get out of that hole right there.
The cool thing is you can paint them up in whatever scheme you want to, right? So they have shore troopers.
That's where you lose me.
I got you, but here's what I
was saying. This is why I was shaking my head at you. Not because it's not awesome, because to quote Alfie, if you ever pick up something from Star Wars Legions, set it down and turn around and walk away, and don't get involved because you will be hooked. Because it's true. I was a naysayer, and then we got together and we played, and like 2.5 hours later, I like came up for air, and I was like, "This is awesome." I can totally see myself getting sucked into this.
The things have to be easier to store than like your big figures, though, and everything.
So I have now, because I've collected so many of them, I now have a 4-foot tall toolbox that I've layered with aluminum and magnetized my minis so I can transport them all. It's about a 4-foot tall case.
Let me tell you something, Brent. You make me so happy. You make me so very happy because I'm going to tell you, I have been in my life the same way with a 3 3/4 inch.
Right.
Someone turned me on to like fishing tackle boxes.
Mm-hmm.
3/4 inch, and I mean, I had a stack that was so I would go to the store just to buy fishing tackle boxes just to store my figures in
Yeah.
and pile them up. And so as I was selling off a few the other week, I came across this whole thing of all these things, and I'm just popping things up. I'm like, I forgot I had this. I forgot I had this. And I even thought to myself, I should really get one of those toolboxes that, the tool stands basically with all the drawers and stuff in it. Yeah. But no, the painting is what would throw me off because I don't have, that's an ability I don't have.
Well, all I was going to say was with that is so what I've done with my shore troopers is I have one unit in the basic like tan and the traditional colors. Then I watched Mandalorian season 2 with the Juggernaut pilot. So I painted up because basically the Juggernaut pilot's uniforms were the basic shore troopers, but they were more all gray. And then I've seen some other people paint the shore troopers up like the tank pilots from Rogue One, which is like the all white. So like there's so much that you can do within the canon. And I have an Imperial Royal Guard that's red. And then I also have a blue one because of the Senate Royal Guard from, I think it's episode 2 and episode 3. Because they just make a glimpse in there that we're Palpatine. So I have a blue and a red one.
Yeah.
So anyways, I'll get off of my soapbox.
No, you're good.
I
You're
love
good.
it, dude. That's the kind of stuff I love. Like now I want to know, how do you play the game? Like,
Oh no.
You don't want to know.
Yeah. Are we talking like, is it almost like a role-playing game where you have so many hit points, so many experience points?
So there's no experience points, but each character has its own health, and then you roll dice to try to take away that health.
Gotcha.
But it's also objective based, so you have to accomplish an objective. So the rebels like to run and hide and accomplish the objectives, where the Empire wants to hunt down and kill and then accomplish the objectives afterwards.
Right.
They also have the clones and the droids that have different. So those are the factions that they have, and they just had an announcement that they're going to put the Pike Syndicate in, the Shadow Collective. Maul is going to be a commander for that. They're going to put swoop bikes in from Shadows of the Empire, and all of that stuff should be coming in like 2022, 2023.
Really cool. Really cool. I may have to kind of look into some of that and see what's up.
Gosh. Okay, so I don't know. I think we're doing fine. I'm seeing live. I'm seeing that we're good on the broadcast is going, all that. But Vinny, it looks like now, is trying to hop on. Yeah. So, they were okay. Yeah. So Willie, here, ready? Here, Willie. Steve just hit his slippery slope. Ha ha.
Well, here's the thing I've realized about myself, because here's what I'm into right now. Like, obviously, I got into Marvel Legends back in the early 2000s when Toy Biz first, like from Wave 1, and I loved them. I thought they were awesome. And I just kind of fell out of that and decided, I'm going to focus in on Star Wars, and kind of stuck with Star Wars until recently, about 3 years ago. They did a Fantastic Four set that was exclusive to Walgreens with the Marvel Legends, and I'm like, well, I'm back in. I'm back, baby. And next thing I know, I'm collecting Marvel Legends like a madman. I have to pull back on the Star Wars. Well, now something has happened where I've stumbled back into comics. And so I'm trying to go back and get some old runs completed. I'm thinking about some project I can do on my podcast with some comic stuff and that sort of thing. And what I discovered is like, I watched a video where a dude cleaned and pressed a comic. Like he had an old comic and he went through this cleaning process with it. And then he put it on like this heat press, and gently press it. And I'm like, well, this is new. And then I realized what I do is I decide I'm going to go something, and I go whole hog for about 6 to 8 weeks. And then I'm like, no, all right, what's next? What's next? So I think I'm going to customize. I think I'm going to build dioramas. I think I'm going to start up a proper YouTube channel. I think I'm going to become a comic book collector extraordinaire. But then I'll turn back around. I'll be like, new vintage wave of Star Wars. All right, yeah, I'm on it. So I'm an ADHD hobbyist. And so with something like that, it'd be like, yeah, let's play a game. Like here in my mind right now, Brent, this is what I'm thinking. I'm like, Brent, I got to have you on. What we need to do is I need to amass an army. And we need to do on YouTube a whole deal where we play a game and we set up like a webcam on the boards and that sort of thing. And now I'm like, how would I work that out? But
you need to come
I
to
know
Indy.
I'm never going to do it though. That's the thing is I know I'm never going to do it.
Indy. Come to Indy. We'll all do it together. You and Rife and make a road trip up. We'll get Adam Gray down.
I'm going to get a car with Glosson and go with him. That's what I want to do. I want to spend all this time with Glosson all the way up there. It's ridiculous.
All right. So I want to keep us on Star Wars for a little while. So because we bounce. Steve likes to take the train off the rails. That's one of his favorite things to do. And now Brent did with Legions.
That's Star Wars.
We're talking Star Wars.
Okay. All right. So I'll tell you, we'll go this way. Brent, you brought to the table Legions is kind of your thing that the movies are good, the shows are good, but what really keeps you locked in is would you say Legions more, or the visual stuff keeps you locked in?
Yeah, like I like all of the visual and all of that stuff when I watch.
Say it.
Do it.
I'm a visual guy.
Do it.
Yeah,
100%. Like I'm going to spend, if I'm gonna spend my time, I'm gonna watch a TV show, a cartoon, a Disney Plus show, or a movie, or paint my Star Wars figures, or play my game.
Yep.
Those are the I will now dabble in the Audible, but the expanded universe is not something that is where I was at. However, I did play some Battlefront 2, and I think our new co-host would probably be the expert in the video game world.
Yeah. Who, Dave?
No, isn't Vinny?
Vinny.
Oh, Vinny, I keep trying to message him. I'm not hearing him.
Hello there.
Oh,
I hear him.
hello there.
Yes.
Hi. Vinny, how you doing?
Good. How are all of you?
Good.
Doing well, sir. How are you?
Good.
Hey, so for our listeners, our viewers, and for Steve, this is Vinnie Smith. Vinnie Smith is one of the original crew, and being our 100th, it's like a high school reunion. We wanted to have him back real quick and check in on him. Vinny, how are things going? What, you been doing anything Star Wars recently?
Unfortunately, no. I've been kind of a bad Star Wars fan. Haven't had a chance to even watch The Bad Batch. I need to actually catch up on Clone Wars before I even watch The Bad Batch. So that's why I feel like I've been dishonoring to the show and haven't been on, because it's like, well, I haven't even been keeping up, so I can't even disservice the show by being on there without even knowing anything.
Vinny, it sounds like to me you have what we all like to call a life.
I work for a startup, so if that says anything about my work schedule.
Yeah. But you've been getting your gambling in, right? You've been doing some playing the what do you play again? Craps?
Craps, yeah. Unfortunately, no, haven't even been gambling. So
oh man, you are busy.
Was in Vegas early August, didn't even gamble. So
wow.
Says anything about that. So
and you're heading to Vegas again soon, right?
Yeah, in a couple weeks.
Okay. All right. Well, look, I know we were having some trouble getting you on there and everything. Look, I didn't want to keep you. I just wanted to make sure you hopped on and say hey, because we miss you. And anytime you want to come back and talk about, hey, did you see that Knights of the Old Republic is coming out updated version?
I did, yes. I did see that they're going to update that game. So that's
I think you might be somebody who we need to have come on and walk us through that, because you know me, I'm not the gamer guy. So Alfie wanted to ask you something real quick, I think.
Yeah, go ahead.
Since the last time we talked, did you play Squadrons, and what did you think?
Once again, I'm a bad fan. I played Squadrons and then I stopped playing like on the last mission. So I don't know what happened. I mean, Call of Duty kind of sucked up my whole life into that gaming world, but I mean, I really enjoy Squadrons. I stare at it every time I play Call of Duty. And, you know, whenever I have time, I go, I need to play that and actually beat that game. But it's an amazing game. It makes you really feel like you're actually flying and it's very difficult to play. So I imagine that's how hard it is to actually fly an actual X-Wing.
Yeah, I thought it was too.
Yeah, to be fair, that was maybe the hardest video game I've ever played. And I was so bad at it that I don't think I made it past the second or third mission. Like, I stopped playing because I was like, I hate that I'm this bad at something that I love. I got to be done with this.
That's why I just watch people like Vinny. I don't even play them. I just sit back and watch.
Did you guys ever play Super Empire Strikes Back for the Super Nintendo?
Yes.
Yep.
That was pretty hard.
Mm-hmm.
I struggled with that one.
I hopped into Battlefront 2 about a week ago, and then the people are so good in that game, I hopped right back out. So not going to even play that realm.
Well, man, no worries. Well, I'll tell you what. Hey, we're just bouncing around here. We're going to finish up. I didn't want to keep you, like I said. I just wanted to have you in this time slot. make sure we caught up. And anytime you want to come back, talk Star Wars, talk gaming, any of that stuff at all, you're welcome back. You just hit me up and we'll have you back. But I know people would ask me where's Vinny, and I said, hey, Vinny's busy. I know you like him on there, but he's busy, and he's our dark side guy who loves the Empire. So, but you even out a little bit.
Yeah, I was taking a page out of Palpatine's playbook. You got to disappear for a long period of time, build yourself back up. And start back. So I was like, well, I'll take a break and then I'll come back for the 100th episode.
There you go.
Congrats on the 100th episode, Joe. That's amazing. Congrats to all you guys as well.
Thank you.
You go away and you come back when it makes no sense whatsoever. That's what you do.
Oh gosh. All right, brother. Well, hey, you take care. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll chat here real soon, and we'll meet up soon. Haven't seen you in a while.
Talk to you guys later. Happy 100th.
See you, Vinny.
Talk to you.
All right, see you guys.
Vinny is a good man, and he came on the first few times, and like Alfie said, I thought this was like we're gonna do this once. I didn't know you're gonna keep doing this. Go ahead, Brent.
So I got a question. I think it popped up twice, and Dave, when he brought his helmets out, made me think about this, or at least made me think about the question. Favorite helmets from the Star Wars universe. I think one of the fans asked that as a question.
Steve, yeah.
And do you have to ask?
I just want to know top 3. We did top 3. I jumped in when you guys were talking top 3 Jedi and Sith. But give me 3 helmets from the Star Wars universe that make your top 3.
Alfie, I'll let you start.
Starting with 3, probably Kylo Ren, Darth Vader, Boba Fett.
All right. Nick, you.
Din Djarin, Boba Fett, Darth Vader.
Mr. Steve Lawson.
So
3
Darth
favorite
Vader-
helmets.
So Darth Vader counts as a helmet then?
Yeah, we'll let it count as a helmet.
I sure
All
hope
right.
so.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I'm just trying to get the parameters. I'm looking around at the different stuff to see. I think you got to throw Vader in there because he's iconic, and I do love that look. I really do. I think for me, the classic Stormtrooper, maybe AT-AT driver on a variation on that. And then the Royal Guard, the red.
Oh wow!
Yeah, that's that. In fact, I think of the looks in Star Wars, the Royal Guard is one of those that I was telling my wife the other day, it's one of my favorite things visually from Star Wars. And I think it's because as a kid, all of those toys were mostly in grays and whites and blacks, and then here's that pop of red, from that guard, all these earth tones and the whites and blacks, and then boom, just a bright red guard. And it's like, what are they doing? Why would they wear that if they're supposed to be an elite guard? Because they're that awesome.
I actually liked what they did with the Praetorian Guard in the sequel trilogy. They kind of updated it and threw a little bit of armor on it. However, I truly liked the Royal Guard way better.
Mm-hmm.
There was something about like that velvet cape that was just amazing. That's what the red, the red helmet, the way it sat on their heads. I'm a huge fan of the Scout Trooper helmet, which is one of the ones that Dave pulled out. Yeah. I really do like that. And I also like that there, like you said, the classic Stormtrooper helmet. I kind of like the fact that it's almost as if it's like the Batman costume and everybody puts a little spin onto it. And you've seen this evolution of the Stormtrooper helmet over the course of the different properties as it's aged. So I would say the Scout Trooper would be up there. I really like the broken Kylo Ren. If I'm going to go Kylo Ren, I like the one that had the red lines in it.
Okay.
Cool. And then if you put Vader, and so I'm going to go away from Vader because I don't want to use him, but if you put Vader's face on anything, anyone in this world will recognize that as Darth Vader, whether a Star Wars fan or not. That's what that is probably the most iconic thing from the Star Wars universe, I feel like. I'm trying to think if there's any, I really did like the Shore Trooper helmet when it came out, just because it was new, it was different, and it was one of those, it's like, wow, that's really cool re-stylization of the helmet. So I'll go kind of off the wall with the Scout Trooper, the Beach Trooper, Shore Trooper, and Kylo Ren.
How cool was that, the Snow Trooper and the Shore Trooper? Again, just making variations. I will go 3, 2, 1. I'll go Captain Rex helmet 3, Scout Trooper 2, Darth Vader 1. So
Dave threw
yeah.
in from chat as we're reading the Death Troopers that black Death Trooper helmet was pretty
That is
pretty
so
sweet.
cool. I can't believe I
Yeah.
forgot that one. That was such a good one, Dave.
So we got like 10 more minutes with you, Mr. Glosson. So
Yes, sir.
again, I told everybody you need to be listening to this guy on Geek Out Loud podcast. It's fabulous, makes you laugh.
I wouldn't
Talks
call it
Star
weird.
Wars, talks Marvel, talks DC, a little bit of that. What's on your mind with Star Wars? Because some of these guys are gonna be hanging around with me here for a few more minutes after you hop off. What brings you back to Star Wars? What's something that's on your mind on Star Wars? Give me something Star Warsy out of Mr. Glosson here.
You know, I've become a Star Wars fogey. I've become an old Star Wars fogey. And I admit it readily. It is. I have really over the past probably 9 months to a year, just kind of reveled in original trilogy era stuff and things with a real bent toward Return of the Jedi. Return of the Jedi is kind of my favorite of the Star Wars movies. Even though we have multiple books that take place after Return of the Jedi, and even though we have multiple now movies and media things that take place, I just to me it's always like this perfect ending was Jedi. Like everything was going to be okay. And I maybe that's part of my issue with some of the sequel trilogy stuff is that everything wasn't okay, and it wasn't okay to the point that it was just absolutely messed up beyond all recognition. But I've really been kind of digging on that. You know, Hasbro has put out some of these vintage wave figures that are very much from that era. You know, and seeing those cards just takes me back with some of the waves that have come out lately, and so that's kind of where I'm at. I've watched maybe an episode of the Bad Batch, and I just kind of had it on peripherally. I haven't really kept up with that. I love the Mandalorian, and I think what I loved most about Mandalorian was the fact that, you know, for several years there was this narrative out there that Luke, it's almost like they tried to make Luke not matter anymore. Like there was a certain sect of fandom and even it seemed like from the creators that tried to make it seem like Luke just didn't matter anymore. And to watch after the season 2 finale of Mandalorian, I don't like reaction videos, but I kept getting shared with these videos, these reaction videos, and then finally see this supercut of all of these reaction videos to that moment at the end of Mandalorian when Luke shows up, and everybody said the same 2 words, almost in unison, almost at the exact same time. It's Luke. And I was just like, as I'm watching and I see everyone have the exact same reaction, because there was that moment when the X-Wing goes by and they're like, here comes an X-Wing, and you're like, oh, is that Dave Jones or that stuff, you know, or not Dave Jones, Dave Filoni or Dave Jones. Hey, Dave Jones, shout out to you, buddy. Is that Dave Filoni's character or is that someone else? And then, you know, here comes the Jedi, and you see him first on the monitor, kind of black and white, and you're like, well, is that a green blade? It is a green blade, but you don't really get to see the hilt. And then you see the gloved hand, and you're like, it could be. And then, you know, well, actually, it was when I saw the gloved hand, I'm like, that's Luke. That's definitely Luke. You know, but they did this great kind of slow reveal of like, because it's something that I don't think anyone ever thought would take place. And so for him to show up, for him to be there, and for him to get his moment, the same moment that Darth Vader got at the end of Rogue One, Luke got at the end of the Mandalorian series, season 2. And to me, it's everything that kids like me wanted from Luke, was just to walk in and be the guy, you know, to be the man. And he was. And I thought it was set up so perfectly, because the Mandalorian had such a hard time with that one Death Trooper. Like it was by luck that he actually got rid of him. And so then they're all there. They're all outside the door pounding to get in, and it is all but over. All hope is lost, and here comes the new hope. You know, here comes Luke. And I think that what Filoni and Favreau did in those moments was just remind everyone, this is who you loved. Whether you were a Han Solo guy or a Luke Skywalker guy, you loved Luke regardless. Whether you were no matter what kind of fan you were, you always believed in Luke. You always loved Luke. and this was to remind us all that there he is. And to me, it's for those moments that I keep coming back now, because there was a time where I thought those moments may be gone. If I'm being completely honest, there was a time for a little while there where I thought fans have messed this thing up. People have taken this thing and hijacked it and made it something that it never really was. I don't know that this is my life anymore. I don't know that this is my fandom anymore. And then in that moment, I was like, yes, it is. This is, because it's Luke. And so that's kind of, that's, to me, that's what brings back. And like, dude, let me see if I can grab it over here. Like when this guy came back out on this vintage card, I'm like, yeah, I'll take that Luke Skywalker on it. And I love that his helmet doesn't come off. Like a lot of people are complaining, like, well, his helmet doesn't come off. Well, neither did the original one. Leia's helmet came off, but Luke's didn't, but he had his poncho and I got, and so I've got to get him open and put him in my little, scout vehicle that I need the gun for and all that good stuff. And just, it's stuff like that. When I see little things like those cards and everything, I'm like, yeah, I still love it. I'm still there. I might be focusing my attention somewhere else right now, but my ADHD hobbying will come back around because I still have a wall full of, vintage collection figures right over here. I still, they're not gone. It's still there.
Go ahead, Brent.
Steve, did you watch the gallery episode?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you saw how much reverence they had for building that scene.
Yes.
And how much care they put into what you like, everything you're talking about. Filoni and Favreau and the director, I can't think of his name right now off the top of my head.
Peyton Reed.
Peyton Reed. They put so much care, love, and attention to make sure that it was that way.
Yep.
So they were fans just like you. If you hadn't seen it, I was going to recommend go and watch it.
And I knew from the Clone Wars days that Filoni was. I listened to Rebel Force Radio and Filoni. That was the first time he got out in public was with those guys over on Rebel Force Radio, the podcast there, and previously the Force Cast. And he, that's where fans really got to know him and find out, this is a dude that, the celebration prior to the announcement of the Clone Wars was dressed up as Plo Koon at Celebration as a fan. Like this is a guy who gets it and he gets fandom, and because he sat at the feet of George Lucas to learn how to make Star Wars, he gets what it takes to make good Star Wars. And as much as it is a business, and we can never forget the business of show business, there's a reason that Star Wars has been successful and is an evergreen property. And it's not because, I don't want to ruin your 100th episode celebration.
You're right.
It's not because we lean into a certain sect of fandom. It's because George Lucas put story above all else. I remember the complaining and the cries and everything else that came about with the prequels, but I also remember how people were still walking away loving Darth Maul, loving the Williams score, loving the fact that Yoda, broke out his lightsaber and went nuts, loving Revenge of the Sith. I remember how much, for all the complaining that people did about those prequels, they still came away loving that stuff. So I think that's kind of the magic of Star Wars when it's done well, is you will have people that don't like some stuff. But if you're true to the story above all else, you're not necessarily trying to do fan service. You're not necessarily trying to please a certain time in history, or you're just saying, here is the story of Star Wars and here is the myth. Let's expand on the mythology of it all. Then I think that it can be evergreen, but right now I feel like it's kind of a tale of two Lucasfilms as far as Star Wars goes. I really do. I feel like the original visionary not being there has left a void, and it's tried to be filled with people that have their own agendas above that story, and then people who know how to tell that story. And I do feel like there's some tension within Lucasfilm itself, and I hope that gets resolved for the better. I really do. But ultimately, there's enough good about it that continues to kind of just keep me there, just keep me hanging, keep me able to be on podcasts like this.
Well, hey, we will. And like I said, you were one of the gentlemen who brought me into this and made me want to do this. So I can't thank you enough. It's always a pleasure of mine to take time to speak with you and to hear your thoughts. And I think you encapsulated a lot of stuff very well there with your thoughts. And that's why I wanted to have you on. I wanted to give you time to talk a little Star Wars and be a part of what we do and for being a part of our 100th episode. So thank you so much. Thanks for being a part of it.
Thank you
And
guys, yeah.
we'll connect soon, and I'll get
Yes,
you
sir.
connected to Brent so you guys can start playing Star Wars Legion.
Yeah.
and
Don't do that to me or my wife.
Yeah, right. For real. He's gonna hate Brent Dykeman. I'll just tell you that right now.
you got it. So, hey, thanks so much, Steve. We'll
Thank
talk to you later,
guys.
man.
Happy
Be good.
100, fellas. Thank you so much.
You got it. Thanks.
We'll see
Bye-bye.
ya.
Hey, we're going to add two fun, crazy people here. Hey, there's T-Bob.
Yo, what up,
Man.
boys? Alfie, Nick, Brent.
Hey, how you doing?
Thanks for having
Hey.
me back. Dude.
And there's the brother from the mother, Tony. My little brother, Tony.
What's up, Big Joe?
Oh,
my
wow.
gosh.
Wait, is this another Molinaro here?
This is my little brother.
Oh,
yeah.
man. Nice, dude.
Thanks
Hell
for
yeah.
having
Nice to meet you,
Freaking
Tony.
Super friends tonight, man. This is
Meet
amazing.
you.
It is
We've-
the Star Wars Super Friends. Yes.
We finally find a way to get T-Bob on at the right time.
Yeah, I finally figured out time zones. I know.
Oh,
Finally
gosh.
this time. After last time
Just-
it happened.
Just go for a couple hours and T-Bob will hop in.
This
you
time's
go.
a charm.
There
Wait,
you
Brent.
go.
So we've always talked a lot of Star Wars Legion here. But
Yeah.
I need to pick your brain. So when you actually play, like, who is your favorite force or army to play with?
So this is such a great question because I have all four factions because I try to get as many people into it as I possibly can, right? So because I knew that I was going to have to teach people how to play. Tony's actually played.
Yep.
Joe's played, and so has Nick. I need to get Alfie on the table.
I
No.
can't believe Alfie hasn't played it yet. And I say that, and I can't believe that because Alfie, you would get really into it if you did play it.
That's
So-
exactly why I've
And
never
it would
played.
create rifts in
Brent's
your
like,
family.
hey,
Yeah,
hey,
that's
kid,
it.
come over here. You want to take a look at this?
Wanna smoke some
Opens up his
chronic?
coat. He just got
So-
miniatures.
I got some death sticks.
Yeah.
So right now, the Republic they're dropping what they call the Kashyyyk wave of Legion. So the Republic is getting Wookiees. So I'm playing the Republic faction with Wookiees.
Yeah.
So
I'm very jealous, dude. That sounds incredible.
It's,
So that's kind of
it's
my
rabbit
favorite.
holes.
Yeah.
We like to be Brent's release to the public of letting him let all this Legion stuff out. Like he hides it in and does it all by himself. Then he comes
But-
here and he's like, Legion.
but you can play Cassian K2 and Chewie and Han on the same team, and they work together so well.
Okay.
I learned my lesson with Funkos, man. I'm not starting something else up.
I
The
just
day-
need- I'll teach you the game. I have the toys.
He has all toys. You just gotta show up.
I mean, that is so freaking rare to have someone who has terrain, painted miniatures, just everything ready to go. That is a
my gosh.
blessing. Oh my god.
Yeah. Alfie, you just leave your wallet in the car when you come to play.
Look
Hey,
at that.
The
I
day
got
that I
terrain.
walked into Hot Topic with my wife, and the guy watched me walk through the door and said, "Hey, Alfie, I got your order put aside in the back. That's waiting on you." Today I knew I had a problem.
Yeah, well, we all have a problem.
Yeah, Joe, how's your Black Series addiction going?
You know, I've been able to pace myself.
Okay.
I've been able to
Okay.
pace
Proud of
myself.
you.
I'm really working on that, and I'm taking Alfie and Steve Glossen's approach to it. Of I'm going to stick with a few characters, because getting all the stuff is it's painful, it's expensive,
Yeah.
and I don't need all that action. And honestly, work's been so crazy, and I'm trying to make it to where my wife and I go to Italy next year if they ever let people do all that kind of stuff again.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to focus my time and money on those things because
Wait,
it's
You opened one though, right?
I did. I
How was
opened
that?
this is my like holy grail right here. The one I was the
Oh,
Wow.
Obi-Wan Kenobi,
dude.
That is
6-inch. They can come with a stand, man. I mean, they got
I
a
know.
stand.
Wow.
But in the clone armor, but it's just completely incredible. But the only reason I opened him is because I have another one. So
Wait, why does that one come with the stand?
this was the Black Series from a few years ago from Walgreens, I think, exclusive, and then the one from Target exclusive does not come with a stand. And then here's Jackson the Rabbit from the Marvel Comics 6-inch. So
Wow, dude, beautiful,
yeah,
beautiful.
yeah. Well, hey, real quick, Tony, man.
Yes, sir.
No, you're fine, Tony. So good to have you back. One of the original cast members, brother, little baby brother, and I like we always talk.
man.
I tried to raise you and Joey in Star Wars. How have you been? Have you been doing anything Star Wars with your little kids or anything like that at all?
I've been great, man. Thanks for asking. Wes is still not on the Star Wars train. I did turn on Bad Batch and let him watch that, but the violence, his eyes got a little too big when the violence came. So I said, you know what? We'll wait a couple more years. He just turned 4, so I'm gonna pace him.
Okay.
I did 2 nights ago. I just watched. I've never seen it. I watched Fanboys.
Oh, so great.
And
Joe.
I haven't seen it since high school though. I
I've
loved it.
never seen it, and I really, really enjoyed it. Obviously, and I didn't know how many like stars. I guess they're not like big stars, but they're big names. You know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how set the cast was. So yeah, so that's what I've been up to. But yeah.
We
Good to
need
be
to do a
here.
viewing party of that and do a commentary along with it because that would be hilarious. The amount of stuff that's in there is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that
So-
movie since fuck, probably like 15 years now, dude. That's crazy.
And you're right, Tony. I mean, there's some not only actors in the main crew that are big, but then the stars they brought in from Star Wars and Star Trek to be a part of it were huge
Right.
as well.
Right.
So that's good. Well, we're just kind of bouncing around. It's free spirited here. T-Bob and you show up at the same time. For everybody not knowing and just watching or listening, T-Bob is our friend from Louisiana. He and Joey are very good friends and met each other with Joey's Crazy Impressions. And he's down there in Baton Rouge. Everything's right with the weather, right?
Yeah, we're good, man. And actually, it's a little rainy. Tropical storms rolling in, I think. But Joey's coming to town this weekend.
That's
so
what I
for the
said.
first time in real life, I think me and Joey are going to get to hang out, get to tailgate a little bit. It's going to be a good time.
Man, I begged him to go on that trip, and I love my son, but he wanted to take his wife along with him. I don't know how that worked out, but I can guarantee you the next time he comes down to LSU, I'm there with him. Or if we talk you into a Legion Star Wars party in Indianapolis, I'll get you up here. So,
Look, I mean, is Gen Con still
This weekend?
year after year? It's
This week.
This weekend?
Yeah.
See, that's the problem. It's always during football season. Like
That's
I'm one day gonna have to just like build up enough capital where I'm like can skip a game. Be like, look, y'all, I gotta go to Gen Con. I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you.
I think we buried a lead here with our friend T-Bob because there was a massive Twitter reference and Star Wars related comment that our friend T-Bob was a part of. And I just want to know from your personal perspective, how did it feel to get commented back from the man, the myth, the legend, Mark Hamill?
That was incredible.
Yeah.
I was
Okay.
freaking
So
out.
so for those that don't know, I went to so I work in sports radio. So I went to Los Angeles to cover the LSU UCLA game. LSU got their ass kicked. That was surprising, but whatever. It was all worth it because that Friday I'm randomly in some shop and I see some other guy from Baton Rouge and he asked me if I'm going to the John Williams concert. I'm like, what? John Williams? And I had family out there. Turns out John Williams was conducting the LA Symphony at the Hollywood Bowl right by my hotel. And I was supposed to hang out with my family that lives out in California that night, my sister, their kids and everything. And I called them and I was like, hey, sorry, y'all. I'm out. This is like a once in a lifetime thing. I got to do it. So I immediately scooped tickets. Me and my buddy that was with me, my producer buddy, we went to this bar off of Hollywood Boulevard called Scum and Villainy.
Oh,
It's
I've heard
a
of that.
recreation of the Cantina. I think it's where like Kevin Smith, they said, films this or does his podcast sometimes.
They're friends. That guy's friends with Rebel Force Radio, Jimmy and Jason on Rebel Force Radio. He
Okay,
does a
so
lot of
we
their shows.
went to Scum and Villainy, had some drinks there, and then we're going to John Williams at Hollywood Bowl. It's like a mile and a half away, and I'm an idiot. And I'm like, I figure we get Uber like 30 minutes before, right? Hell no, fucking traffic. So I was like, we gotta go, dude. We can't be late. I made this guy with me who's not a big Star Wars fan. I made him hike a mile and a half straight uphill in about 30 minutes to make it to the gate on time. And we were huffing, but we made it, dude. Made it, sat down, watched John Williams. It was unbelievable. And then I just at one part, because I want a memory, right? I like filmed myself, like kind of just enjoying it, and it's like 10-second video or whatever. But I look really happy because it was like I'm happy I did this where I died memory. And somebody tagged Mark Hamill in the video, and then he responded and was like, nothing quite like seeing John Williams live. Is it T-Bob or something with the heart emoji? And I was like freaking out, dude. I was like it was weird. It's one of those things where it sounds so stupid, and it is Twitter, whatever, right? But like, it's one of those things where I felt like it was like, but in a positive way, like the eye of Sauron had like looked at me, right? like its gaze and just like Luke's gaze had fallen upon me, and I was like, "What do I say? What do I say?" And I was like freaking out, and I think my response was like a little overly crafted and cheesy, but yes, the night made my life, and then the absolute cherry on top was Mark friggin' Hamill tweeting me. So it was, it was amazing. It was just like. I told my family, I was like, look, I'm sorry I bailed on y'all, but I'm legitimately happy that I did this before I died. I got very lucky.
Yeah, like, I'm sorry, but I'm not that sorry.
Yeah, I guess essentially.
It was, Joey sends me a text, and he's like, effing T-Bob. And I'm like, what? I go to Twitter, and I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? So I send him a message immediately. I didn't know he was in L. I didn't even know what was going on. And I just sent him like, are you kidding me? Mark Hamill reached out to you? And he's like, dude, I am beside myself. It was so happy. So Tony, real quick, when did Mark reach out to you? Just kidding. I'm just
Oh, that's so mean. I was like, Tony,
leave it to the older brother.
I was about to say that's a classic older brother move right there, dude. 100%.
sorry.
100%.
Right?
Oh my
we got
gosh.
reached out to
That's great.
by Mark Hamill after the podcast where we talked about the Vuzong Vong.
Yes. Yeah,
That was-
could have been
And he
weird.
told Tony to cool it. He said,
Yeah.
cool it.
Tony with his,
That might be one of my top 10 favorite moments because I thought he was being completely serious.
Oh no.
No, we were just joking on the naming of the Yuzong Vong. But
What is the Yuzong Vong? What are we talking about?
it's a Star Wars
thank God,
book thing.
thank God,
T-Bob.
And we've opened Pandora's box. Here we go.
I'm not the only one that didn't know.
Brent's gonna have you playing Star Wars Legion, and we're gonna have you reading Star Wars books. So
Is this old? Is this the new series?
Yeah.
Is this from
No,
is
it's
it Old
old.
Republic
Old.
stuff?
This is
This is like Legends. This is like
Yeah,
no
yeah.
longer canon stuff.
This is when
Okay,
Star
yeah.
Wars departed from like classic
Reality?
Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah, reality. Well,
It was
yeah,
really
This is when they jumped the shark. You're saying essentially.
It was interesting.
Yuzong Vong.
It was a good storyline. Honestly, it might have mixed in well with the sequel trilogy if they would have done
Honestly,
that properly.
I think it could have been better than some of the sequel trilogy. And I
You-
know I'm going to catch flack for that,
Yeah,
but that's where I
Hey,
stand.
wait! Did you all see the new episode of Gallery that dropped
Oh,
on Disney
gosh,
Plus?
yeah.
Yes.
You know what?
Oh.
I'm going to let Alfie lead the way on that. Alfie, you were the leader of that. What did you think of Star Wars Gallery with Luke? We talked about it. And well, Steve was just hitting on it. It was Luke, right? I mean, it just drew
Yeah.
you in.
Yeah. There's not much you can say except it was freaking Luke Skywalker. And seeing that everybody who worked on it had the same thought. This is freaking Luke Skywalker. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Is
Incredible.
is Plo Koon's greatest contribution to Star Wars serving as the kind of secret Luke, just to make sure that they could kind of write the script and like have art and stuff out there?
No,
100%.
no. He's the one who found Ahsoka.
He did.
I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I'm
dude.
sorry.
I
I'm
didn't realize
sorry.
that. I didn't
Yeah,
realize that.
he-
Is that from the original Clone Wars movie?
The
It's
series.
it's from the series, the Clone Wars series, but I don't know
Series.
where at in the series. I'm not a Clone Wars expert, but
Damn,
yeah,
work out Plo
he-
Koon. Never mind.
he was responsible for finding Ahsoka and bringing her to the temple,
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
which
like
mo-
season 2 or 3.
which most people would say that would be the greatest Jedi ever, right? Because Dave Filoni even said that she was better than Luke.
Yes.
Well, I mean, Dave's absolutely right there, and I think we've talked about that as well. I know we have on the Four Mandalore pod, but like anybody in the original trilogy, I guess, save for Vader and the Emperor, like any new forces. So I guess essentially Luke, as powerful as they are, I do wonder how they stack up against someone like Ahsoka, who's literally spent her entire life fighting, right? Just her entire life in a constant state of warfare. Like her knives are so sharp. Maybe she's not as force powerful, as someone like Luke, but she's definitely got to be a better duelist.
She is a bad mamma jamma. I can tell you that. That's one of the reasons why she's one of my top 5 characters of all time. So that's kind of weird that she's in that mix there, being a guy who watched it as a 6-year-old in 1977. So yeah. So I'll tell you what, Alfie, Nick, Brent, do you have any questions for these two? That I know we talked about the gallery there. Any questions? We got like 15 minutes left.
Star Wars Visions. I think this group. So T-Bob, we talked about it. I think one of the last times that you came on.
Yeah.
But I don't think the trailers had dropped at that point.
No.
So at this point now I'm guessing you've watched the trailers. So and so tell me where.
I'm incredibly hyped. When, is it this month or next month? Are we like 11 days away? Am I right?
September 22nd.
Something like that.
22nd, 1 week.
Oh, what? Yes. No. I mean, I'm beyond excited. I'm not like the biggest anime fan in that I have a few animes that I love, right? But I love anime animation. I've watched a lot of random things that I've never finished or anything, just because I love the animation, right? And so to see, and I also love anthology type of series. Like, have you all seen Love, Death, and Robots on Netflix? Both those seasons are really good. It's just different animation styles, different stories every episode. So I like taking a world that I love, right? And then it's like a world that I love, and then giving it off to artists and being like, okay, give me your interpretation of it. I think a lot of great mythology kind of lends itself to that. And so I cannot wait to see what these different artists come up with, both visually and from a storytelling perspective. And we're actually bringing back our pod, the For Mandalore podcast, which we normally was about Mandalore. We're gonna bring that back for Visions, and then obviously, boys, we are so close to Book of Boba Fett. I mean, damn.
Come on, maybe we should talk about that.
Hold on, Tony. Have you checked out anything to do with Visions? Have you seen the trailer, or you know anything about it?
Yeah, definitely. I'm super hyped too. Just like T-Bob, I've always kind of been distant from anime, I guess, in the past, but I've always like respected it. I'm curious if people are listening, or if maybe you guys like. Visions is obviously I'm really pumped for it, but I'm wondering if there's any other I wonder if there's any other prep that I can do to like wet my whistle for like anime like this. But
I don't know about prep, but there is a badass Star Wars TIE Fighter anime on YouTube that's like 5 to 7 minutes, where it's actually a look at the Empire, and it's these TIE Fighter pilots just doing work. Dude.
And then there's a dude up here.
I like the anime style comic book series that was out.
Oh, really? I haven't seen that.
Oh, yeah, like a manga. Wasn't there a manga series?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. Again, old school here. I don't know a lot of difference in that, but I remember seeing that come up. That people were really liking that series.
It's okay, dude. I don't know how to read manga still to this day.
I feel
there's my wife, Caleb. What's up, baby?
I don't either.
It's almost
all right, so we talked about Visions. Alfie or Nick, any other questions for Tony or for
Book of Boba Fett, man? Are you hyped about that?
I mean, I just rewatched the final scene of season 2 the other day again, and of course I teared up, because how could I not tear up when Grogu and Din Djarin are saying goodbye to one another? But then I got hyped all over again, because I saw Boba walk up in Jabba's palace and basically say, like, hey, there's a massive power void here, and I'm about to fill it. Right? I mean, I've always thought of Jabba as like a great analog for someone like Putin in Russia, right? A true galactic power, like a true world power that is essentially a criminal empire, like with this guy sitting on top. This is not just a criminal in the way that we think of them as in the U.S., and I feel like when somebody like that goes away, obviously, like I said, massive power vacuum, there's chaos everywhere. And I feel like Boba's about to bring a little order, or at least a little power grab to the Outer Rim. And I'm really hyped to see that.
I always saw him as like a kind of a Michael Corleone.
Yeah, exactly.
Not only is he a gangster, but, throughout all the series, Vader went to him, the rebels went to him, asking for favors, asking for help.
That's a good point. It's a really good point.
I do like that. He was the Godfather. I mean, he made it through the Clone Wars, right? And the original trilogy until Jedi. So yeah, I mean, he was kind of the Michael Corleone, bad guy of that. Tony, have you checked out or thought any more on the Book of Boba Fett? Did you finish up Mando? You watch both Mandos, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. This is kind of like I'm letting it sneak up on me because I don't want to hype it too much. Like I don't want to set my expectations too high. I'm just gonna let it like come at me and just be pleasantly surprised. But yeah, I'm excited for it.
Good, Nick, go ahead.
I will say I just rewatched the last 3 episodes of Mando's. Excuse me, last 4 episodes of Mando season 2, starting with the Jedi and then going all the way through to the end. And that episode that Robert Rodriguez directed with Boba Fett, where he is just like demolishing people, and the attention to detail of like I was rewatching with my dad and rewatching where like Boba Fett shoots the knee darts, and like literally I'm sitting there watching it the first time going like I have an encyclopedia, like a visual encyclopedia that has like one little line that points to like Boba Fett's knee that says like knee darts. And like you've never seen it before. But like he does it, and I'm sitting there watching it like the freaking knee darts, like freaking out, going nuts. And my dad's like, "What?" And I'm like, no. Like I was 8 again watching that episode of The Mandalorian. And I get so hyped thinking like if Robert Rodriguez is directing a bunch of these moving forward, kind of this, I know we talked about it on here before, but this grittier, Star Wars underbelly side where you're seeing some really deep cuts. I mean, like he didn't have to do the knee darts. He got his upper body armor, but he somehow got his knee pads back and he shoots them out and kills everybody. I don't know. I thought it was awesome.
How sick was too in the gallery making of a lot of the information there, like I loved Rodriguez's little homemade kind of proof of concept thing he made with like toys and everything. It proves that really, I mean, the big budget and everything, obviously that helps, but you can do like, you can be very creative with limited materials if you just know how to shoot it and you just do it. And so I thought that was awesome. And then who is it Tamora Morrison? Who plays Boba Fett?
Morrison, yeah.
Yes, listening to him talk about the haka and how it literally means fire breath and working in a lot of those movements from the haka into Boba's kind of like earthbending firefighting style. It was just it translated on screen and it worked perfectly.
I think with looking at what Disney Plus is doing, while I said Marvel earlier, I said Marvel kind of filled that void a little bit when, I needed some more on top of Star Wars for a little while. Marvel got to that point where it was that it's going to be the end of the universe or nothing, right? With the Endgame, Infinity War and all that. But I see what's going on with Disney Plus, and I think fans out there don't always need that. We don't always need it to be every single superhero or every single rebel or every single, that end scene of Rise of Skywalker is cool where all those ships come in behind Poe, but we don't need that in every movie or every show. We can go with this story of Boba Fett, of Ahsoka, of, all these different things, and they can have heart and they can have grit and they can have story and family and all those kind of things. And it's not, if this doesn't happen, everybody's gone, right? So, I mean, I kind of like the way they're going with that. Yes, will I want that sometime down the road? Sure, I want good versus evil for the whole shebang. But I like that we can get to smaller stories and they have meaning and they're intense still. So,
well, I felt it was the great advantage of The Mandalorian because they were finally freed of this idea of good or evil. Like I understood all of Mando's actions because they were solely to help get the child to where he believed the child belonged. And it was a relationship rooted in this like kind of parental love. And that's very, a lot of us, whether you have kids or not, you can identify with that. Right. And also like, I mean, we talk about all this stuff so much. So I think we all understand this, but it's like when you watch all this Star Wars and you kind of see how politicized the Jedi became and all of these things, like what is good versus evil, right? I mean, it's kind of a, like, what is Jedi versus Sith? It's kind of what Kylo was talking about in Last Jedi. And probably they went maybe a little too hard trying to introduce the gray area with like Benicio del Toro and everything. But I agree in that, yes, I want them freed of that. Clearly the bag. I mean, think about the episode with Mando with Bill Burr, where they do the basic version. and they're the returning heroes, right? And everybody's cheering them on, and it's the Empire. I mean, that was like the perfect example of it.
Yeah.
And it was fantastically done, and it still made them look like assholes at the end of the day. So you still don't feel bad about them getting mowed down, but you know why Mando did everything that he did.
Right. Well, I know it's short notice and everything. We got like 5 minutes left. I just want to go around the room. It's our, again, it's our 100th episode, and I owe 100 shout outs to people who listen all the time, people who've been on the show, all that kind of stuff. But T-Bob, one of the main reasons I wanted you here is, you've been on a number of time with us. So you were Joey and I's first guest, on, I think, episode 4, 96 episodes ago. It was T-Bob came on. And I'm like, Joey, who is this again? Why are we talking to him? He's like, oh, no, great guy.
He's going to yell at us for an hour about The Last Jedi.
and having Tony on who, again, I got a chance to grow up watching him, and Joey loved Star Wars underneath, me and what I was doing and growing up with it. So it's just great to have you two on, but I'll go around the room, anybody have any topics? What I will do is I was going to do shout outs and everything here, but what I'm going to do is on Twitter, everybody who's been on the show, who's listened, giving us all this stuff, I'm just going to hit you up that way because I don't want to take up the time while we're trying to finish things up here. But I'll just start right in here. Alfie, just looking at things clockwise here and going around. Any kind of closing thoughts? We're at 100. We've got great guests. We've had great conversations. Anything you want to hit on before we go?
Man, it's just been a great night, a great show. I still cannot believe that we hit 100 episodes. I've loved every minute of it. I've loved the, friendships we've made along the way. And I really just hope it keeps going.
Me too. I'm going to go. It looks like Tony is pointing at something. I'm going to bring up Tony next.
Yeah. Hey, I just want to, I'm just reflecting on this moment compared to years ago when Joseph invited me over to do the marathon of Star Wars movies to get ready for episode 7. Episode 7.
Force Awakens. Yeah.
Yes.
Force Awakens, man. Just to see. So he invited us to got in his basement. We started watching all the movies up until that. We made it a marathon the whole year. We watched all the Star Wars movies, and it's grown into this awesome podcast and this awesome community that you, Joseph, have built. I'm not on all the episodes, but I love what this has done, and I just think it's so cool that we can get together and just watch movies in basements, and it can turn into this awesome thing that people can really enjoy. So that's my reflection on this 100th episode of an awesome podcast with an awesome group of guys. So thanks for letting me chat in here and just kind of watch for fun along the way.
Hey, no worries. And if the good Lord's willing, we'll do some marathons before 10, 11, or 12, or whatever's coming up next before, all that stuff. So, Nick, I'll hit you, brother. What you got?
Man, this has been a fun show. I'll tell you, I couldn't think of a better way to do 100 episodes. We talked about it earlier with like that moment where you see Luke's X-Wing flying and you go, no, like, no way. Like, come, like, no. And then you see it and everybody does that. It's Luke. I've had a couple of those moments tonight where you don't know who's coming on next. I wasn't, maybe that was in the text. I didn't see it, but to go like, it's T-Bob, or to go like, oh my gosh, it's Scott, or hey, it's Steve. It's even though we didn't get all of Adam Bray to go, it's Adam. Like to see Joey to do, just so fun to talk Star Wars, but then to also look back and think of individual moments where we've been on the podcast and we've had conversation. Like T-Bob, you made the reference about yelling at us for The Last Jedi. You changed the way that I look at The Last Jedi. So no, like it's that stuff where I'm like, okay, like little moments and just so fun that even though, live in South Indy, North Indy, Georgia, Louisiana, all over the place. You know what I'm saying? Like live all over the place, yet united by this Star Wars love. So
heck yeah, I'm excited for it. Now we've even got a co-host who lives in Philadelphia. I mean, come on. I mean, yeah, T-Bob, we couldn't fit everybody in because you can only do 6 at a time on the show. Yeah. So we had to do rotations. So I apologize to you and Tony. It was all rotation stuff. So,
dude, look, I guess it's my turn. Obviously, I want to echo a lot of sentiments. Joe, I think what you've done here is pretty incredible, man. Yeah, somebody mentioned the word community earlier, and I think stuff like this and podcasting only works when you're doing it just because you love it, because like you have a passion for the subject matter and you just want to geek out with people and talk about it. And the friendships that I feel like I've gained, which are so random, but like meeting Alfie. Well, I mean, I guess we've never met in real life, but we have, here. Yeah. But Alfie and Nick and Brent and now Tony tonight as well. It's really special, man. It really is. And some of the most fun Star Wars conversations in my entire life have been doing this. And it's funny too, because normally I don't love doing stuff like this because today I did like a 3-hour radio show. I had 2 hour-long podcasts. So I've talked a lot today, but I could not wait to come sit down and be a part of show 100. I think it's an incredible milestone. Y'all are awesome. And I really just can't thank you enough, Joe. It's really cool, man. And talking Legion and everything. Okay, but I know y'all are old school nerds. It's not Star Wars, but real quick, indulge me. Have any of y'all heard of the Merlin trilogy? No. By Mary Stewart, from like the 70s. I got this at a used bookstore the other day. It's kind of awesome. I didn't know if anybody had any insight there. All right. Well, look, but back to what I was saying. Huge thank you. And y'all have taught me so much. I mean, Nick, your knowledge is like second to none. And I mean, Alpha, you're the same way. And Brent, the lead stuff always just, I love it all. I love it all. So thank y'all for having me.
No worries. No worries. Fun. Brent, I'll finish up with you.
Yeah, so all I will do is echo. The community comes through the passion, right? And the passion comes from the host. And it's really crazy. Like, as everyone said, we can't believe that we got here to be a 100. I still can't believe that we roped in a guy from Philadelphia and a guy from Louisiana who actually listened to what we do, right? Right? Because truly it's just us sitting around and talking Star Wars. And we probably, if we didn't have the podcast, I think at this point we probably would still meet up and talk Star Wars. Right,
100%.
And now but we've created a community where there's actually other people that are arguing with us as we talk, adding their 2 cents in, and the fact that we had 8 to 10 people in the chat that were willing to stick around, and D-Doc, who took off about an hour and a half ago, who's still in the chat with us.
Go Birds!
Go Birds!
Oh my God!
Beat the hell out of Atlanta, dude. The New Orleans boys love to see it.
Hey, Brent's a Falcons fan.
Leave my Falcons out of this. They're not good this year. So if you have a survivor pool, you might want to take anybody playing the Falcons this year.
Oh God!
So, but to go back in, we're just good. We're just guys that like to sit around and give each other and poke fun at each other, give each other a hard time. We are all fun-loving, and we have a passion for Star Wars. I feel like D-Doc said that he doesn't know a lot. I feel like I'm in the kindergarten level compared to Alfie and Nick when it comes down to Joe.
Me too.
But I'm willing to listen. I'm willing to learn. I love the community that Joe has created, and I'm grateful to be a part of that. So that's kind of where I'll sum up and finish up is thank you for inviting me to be a part of this. It's been a fun escape for the last year.
Yeah, no. Hey, you guys mean the world to me, and from Dave, who was here earlier, and Joey, and Steve Glosson, and Scott Rifen, Adam Bray. Sorry there was internet problems there. Having my brother Tony back, having Vinnie back, who just hopped off because I bet you he had internet problems. All the hosts. Ryan, I wish he could have been here tonight. I know he had conflicts and everything like that, but guys, it's a blast. It's a true blessing to be able to do this, and to think that we made it to 100 and we're still talking Star Wars and just having fun and laughing is super important to me. To where that's just it. I mean, in all the world we live in, to have something we can just joke, laugh, have fun, get away from all the craziness. There's no better place to rather be. T-Bob, thanks for being our first guest and making it all the way to number 100. And for all you guys, love you like brothers, and anything you need, I'll be here for you, and I know you will be for me, and to all of the listeners. And again, I'll give shout outs on Twitter because it's just too many people to go through, and too many guests we've had. Thank you all so very much. 100 in the books. It's out live right now, obviously on YouTube, but we'll have the podcast up and running later this week. And you know what, guys? Thanks so much. 100 in the books. Great night. Enjoyed it all. And until next time, may the force be with you.
Let's go, Joe. Let's go, Joe. All right, boys. Hey, thanks again.